that just on the other side of the quadrangle, 80,000 Super Bowl fans are beginning to take their seats. For students here, most of whom were not able to get tickets for today's game, the Super Bowl is more of a curiosity than anything else. But for the city of San Francisco, it's a prize worth an estimated $100 million, a prize more and more cities all across the country are competing for. For Philadelphia, the Super Bowl was a long shot, a frostbelt city with an open-air stadium and an average January temperature of 38 degrees. But the city stood to gain $90 million, so it went the distance, offering NFL owners incentives to the tune of nearly $3 million, unprecedented in the history of the Super Bowl.
Free hotel, free super boxes for the owners, free limousine service.
Seattle offered the Kingdome and $2.5 million in subsidies, hoping to earn a Super Bowl the old-fashioned way.
Speaking for Seattle and the Kingdome, here is Mr. John Houseman.
The Super Bowl, what a wonderful event.
In 1982, when San Francisco bid on today's Super Bowl, nothing was left to chance.
We had in the room of every owner a basket of goodies from the Bay Area, some Northern California wine and cheese and chocolate, some niceties of life.
But the reality of where the Super Bowl is played comes down to weather for the most part. Minneapolis wants a Super Bowl. NFL owners have been cool to the offer. They prefer the Sun Belt, where all but 2 of the games have been played. Of equal importance, the size of the stadium. It must seat at least 70,000. Beyond that, the NFL has a list of Super Bowl requirements 6 pages long, ranging from 30,000 hotel rooms to the number of limousines. San Francisco is supplying 500. Spivey's Corner, North Carolina, population 150 with limited limousine service, formally bid for today's Super Bowl. No longer content with its fame as hollering capital of the world, the town wrote the NFL, offering its stadium, its airstrip, and its hospitality. The NFL declined for now.
We thought if we didn't get a Super Bowl game, we might try for the National Republican Convention here, maybe in '88.
For 20 years, the NFL has wanted to spend Super Bowl week in San Francisco and play the game here at Stanford Stadium, built in 1921, the oldest stadium ever to host the Super Bowl. For years, Stanford said no, afraid a professional football game would jeopardize its tax-exempt status. Today, the university's position has changed. Its sense of perspective has not.
I guess my attitude summed up would be, it was great fun, but it will probably be just one of those things.
Just one of those things. Just one of those crazy flings.
Actually, just one of those things may turn into a couple of things here at Stanford. The NFL gave the school close to $1 million to improve its stadium. And in return, Stanford agreed to leave the door open for yet another Super Bowl here in the future. Al?
So let me ask you to put it in perspective. You said about $100 million in worth to the Bay Area economy. What was the Democratic National Convention this summer worth?
Well, let's put it this way. City officials tell me that they expect the Super Bowl to bring in 3 times as much business as the convention. That despite the fact that having the 49ers in the game has reduced the number of visitors in this city.
And it has made it beyond any question of a doubt the toughest ticket ever in Super Bowl history. It's only the second time that a home team has literally been involved. The other instance taking place 5 years ago when the game was played in Pasadena, and it was the Rams against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, we'll be back in the Spivey's Corner of the West with more of our pregame show, and we'll take a look.
Past. Quarterbacks, for the most part, glamorous men in the glamour position.
The only time I ever lifted my hand in my life to brag on anything was when we won that Super Bowl, and it was just a natural thing. Going home, I couldn't help myself. I just started laughing. It felt so good.
Running backs stole the Super Bowl show next most often. Sturdy men inflicting punishment and absorbing it.
I remember Wally Hilgenberg punching me in the eye. Wally gave me a little love tap out there that cost me 3 stitches over my left eye. And I think of him sometimes, on cold mornings occasionally. I don't have any personal animosity towards Wally because he put 3 stitches over my left eye. Of course, I don't think I would help him over any stairwells or down any icy slopes.
Occasionally, a wide receiver soared above the crowd.
It was like a dream. It was great. I wish that every person, every kid that picked up a football when he was small could be in that position sometime in his life. I don't want it to get to the point where, you know, it's great. It was greater than sex, because it wasn't, but it was still probably pretty close.
Rarely, only rarely, defensive players dominated. Once a losing linebacker, and once a pair of defensive linemen ferocious enough to escape the obscurity of the pit, and once a defensive back who stunned himself by picking off the Most Valuable Player award.
I really didn't even know there was an award, to tell you the truth. And then they said, you won the award. I said, great, what, I get another watch or something, you know? And turns out you get a car. And I was really happy. Of course, I traded that for a pickup truck.
One Super Bowl star went on to coach in the National Football League, and more than one went on to broadcast. A few remain on the playing field, still running and still passing, even on this Super Bowl Sunday. But most are far from the action, though few so remote as Jake Scott, who lives alone on a mountaintop in Colorado, a retired bachelor, with a view and a dog, but with no wife, no job, no worries.
I'm just doing the same things I did 15 years ago with a lot less hair and a little less often.
Scott, who intercepted 2 passes in Super Bowl VII, remembers vividly the deeds of 2 teammates, Manny Fernandez, who was so brilliant on defense, he could easily have been MVP.
He deserved it as much, or if not more, than I did. I sent him an extra set of keys.
And Garo Yepremian, the place kicker who tried to become a passer with predictable results.
Garo made the game close. If we'd have lost the game, we'd have hung him on the goalpost out there and left him.
Is it about Sadie Hawkins Day?
No. Joe Namath, now an actor in stock and on Broadway, remembers his lines perfectly. His pregame lines that shocked the experts who had made Baltimore a 19-point favorite in Super Bowl III.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. We're a better football team than that. In fact, we're going to win the game, I guarantee you.
Namath came through and became sports' most celebrated bachelor, a status he recently abandoned. His lovely wife, Deborah, also remembers Super Bowl III.
I was 7 years old at the time, but I've seen films, and I enjoy seeing them.
Fred Biletnikoff and his wife, Jennifer, and their 2 children live on a hilltop in Southern California. He doesn't look a lot like a football hero, but people remember his name and the gooey stuff, now outlawed, he used to splash over his hands and jersey to help him hold on to passes.
The best way to describe it is if you took caramels and melted caramels in a pot on the stove and let it sort of harden up a little bit, and that's what the sticking was like. The same texture, the same color.
How much did you put on?
As much as I thought my mind needed it.
The man who capped the most dramatic moment in Super Bowl history, the kicker who in the closing seconds of Super Bowl V kicked the game-winning field goal, was not voted MVP, mostly because the voting had already been done.
I knew the time was it. I'd practiced all my life, basically, for that kick.
Jim O'Brien is a builder now in the Los Angeles suburbs, and neither his name nor his slight build brings him Super Bowl recognition. In fact, the kick didn't bring him instant fame.
You met your wife in Florida shortly after the Super Bowl.
Right.
Did she know who you were?
No, she had no idea.
I was 18 years old, and I had other things that were much more important.
O'Brien is ready to play today.
If it came down to that last kick, I know I could. I know that I could make the field goal. You know, as long as it was 45 or less.
No way I could line up.
There's no way I'd get close to the playing field now in the physical condition that I'm in.
Could you go 1 series of downs?
I don't know of any of Shula's players that aren't a phone call away.
Suppose you just had to go in, though, for 1 play in the Super Bowl. Could you beat your man 1 time and score 1 touchdown?
I don't know.
Would you like to try?
Depends who it is. If it was her rattling, no.
And this is Herb Adderley's former teammate, Ray Nitschke, played in the first two Super Bowls and has those rings. And you defined the role as middle linebacker. Now, Dick Schaap in that piece asked those other athletes if they had it in them to play one more play. How about you, and which one would it be?
Boy, I'm getting so excited being out here, Donna, and to be out in the Super Bowl, you know, I think this is the epitome for a professional football player. And I think, you know, looking at it now, and I didn't realize the Super Bowl was going to be the big game that it was. And to see all this money, all this, it's a tremendous spectacle, and I just wish I was a part of it. So I was telling somebody early today that I still had a couple more hits in me.
Which hits would they be?
Well, probably on Marino or Montana, but no, I enjoyed the game. The Super Bowl, I never realized would be as big as it is today, and I just wish I was part of it, and just the coming to the game is really a thrill.
We'll have a good time, Ray, and thanks for joining us. We'll have more from Super Bowl 19 right after this.
ABC's coverage of Super Bowl 19 has been brought to you by IBM. Light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer.
A familiar scene, Marino in the pocket with time to throw behind excellent protection, firing a touchdown pass. Marino's success is a product of both intelligent offensive design and brilliant execution. Here you see Miami on first down, two tight ends positioned on the line of scrimmage in what's normally a running formation. But the Dolphins throw, and this positioning gives them the maximum chance to control a straight four-man rush. Two offensive linemen block one man, with two more blockers available if necessary. A well-protected Marino picks out an open Mark Clayton for a long touchdown. Various defensive pass rush tactics have not proven successful against Miami. Here, the Seahawks use two down linemen and a linebacker to try to confuse the Dolphins' offensive line. The defenders alter their usual rushing angles, looking to catch the Miami's pass blockers off guard. Assignments are switched and the three rushers are picked up, and Marino, with supreme confidence in his own and his receiver's ability, throws to a well-covered Clayton for the touchdown. To pressure Marino, some teams have relied heavily on the blitz. Here, the Steelers blitz three linebackers and a safety, expecting to break down the offensive line's blocking assignments. But this all-out blitzing tactic does not work. Marino remains secure in the pocket long enough to hit Mark Duper, who's left one-on-one with the cornerback. The result is an easy touchdown. Defenses have been unable to get to Marino, either with straight three- and four-man pass rush tactics or with different blitzing strategies. Pressuring him is not enough. As you see, a Patriots pass rusher has beaten a Dolphins offensive lineman and has a clear path to Marino. But what appears to be a sure sack becomes a touchdown in an instant. Even under tremendous pressure, Marino drills a perfect pass to a receiver surrounded by defensive backs.
All right, there's the problem for the 49ers. And, Tom, the key to their pass rush is Fred Dean. How will they try to shake him loose in there?
Well, I think they must put pressure on him. I think they're going to do it by putting Fred Dean in for a linebacker, putting him out wide, rush him wide, force the Miami team to change their pass protection scheme.
And we'll keep an eye on that all day with cameras isolated on number 74 for the 49ers. Al, what about the 49er offense?
Well, Jim, you know, the Dolphins may have their problems chasing Joe Montana as well, but, O.J., I have a sneaking suspicion, and a lot of people are feeling at this particular point that the key to this game may be the 49er ground game. How important will it be?
Well, they're the third most productive ground game in all of football, and in talking to the 49er players and some of their coaches, they feel very strongly that they'll be able to run against Miami, but they also feel if they feature the run, they won't be able to score the 35 points that they feel they'll need to score to win. Now, what I think the running game will do for the 49ers is help them control the pace of the game. If they get their customary early lead, they'll sit on the ball and run out the clock, and if Marino get one of his hot times during the course of the game, they'll just slow the ball down until he cools off.
The key backs for the 49ers will be, of course, Wendell Tyler and Roger Craig, and O.J. details the San Francisco ground game.
A key matchup will be the 49ers' outstanding running game featuring Wendell Tyler going against the Dolphins' vulnerable run defense. Look for the 49ers to run Tyler up the middle between their two fine offensive guards, John Ayers and Randy Cross, and behind their center, Fred Quillen, number 56. In the NFC Championship game, Quillen handled Bears All-Pro tackle Dan Hampton. On this touchdown run, he cleared the path for Tyler, giving him the room he needed to use his running skill to shed the tacklers and find his way to the end zone. Tyler is particularly effective running straight through the heart of the defense. He weaves his way through, bounces off tacklers extremely well, and that's a big advantage for the 49er offensive line. Here you see Quillen again working against Hampton. This time the block is not quite as strong, but Tyler is able to see that even before he gets the ball. That allows him to cut back, get outside, and turn upfield for a big gain. Tyler's outstanding knack for reading and running through the defensive maze makes Quillen and the rest of the 49ers offensive line even more effective. In the Super Bowl, Quillen will be matched up against Dolphins nose tackle Bob Baumhauer, number 73. As you see here, Baumhauer can control the league's best offensive centers one-on-one, shutting down the middle and preventing the great backs from getting the open field they need. Baumhauer is the key to the Dolphins. He cannot let Quillen control him at the line of scrimmage. As you see here, he does a decent job against Raiders center Dave Dalby, but on the play, Marcus Allen, much like Wendell Tyler, uses his creative running style and instinct to cut back against the Miami defense, and he's off to the races. The Dolphins' ability to contain the 49ers' strong running game begins and ends with nose tackle Bob Baumhauer.
Pennsylvania, in grammar school, we were first made aware of that wonderful English word confluence, where the Allegheny River flows together with the Monongahela River to form the majestic Ohio. Because of that confluence, Pittsburgh became one of our industrial giants, with great deposits of soft coal producing much of the nation's steel. They don't burn as much soft coal or make as much steel here anymore, but one of their natural resources is still produced in abundance: top-rate quarterbacks. Pittsburgh and its surrounding valleys have given the game John Lujack, George Blanda, Joe Namath, John Unitas. Today, it can claim as native sons the leading quarterback in the Canadian Football League, Tom Clements, the two leading quarterbacks in the United States Football League, Chuck Fusina and Jim Kelly, and of course the two outstanding quarterbacks in the National Football League, Joe Montana and Dan Marino. Pittsburgh, a city of soft coal and hard quarterbacks.
I always thought that Joe would make it. The things that he could do when he was a child, and you could watch him growing up, and the things that he could do with the ball.
Well, when he was pretty young, I think, like I recall the first thing he said, he seen a light bulb and he called it a ball. And that was constantly on his mind, playing ball.
Both boys were all-around athletes. Montana could have had a basketball scholarship at North Carolina, and Marino was offered a baseball contract with Kansas City. Both had the solid support of their fathers.
Well, we started out at an early age and started working on different things, fundamentals and drills that we would work with in basketball, football, and baseball.
He was the one that was always out there throwing the ball with me, whether it be football or trying to play one-on-one with me and knocking me down if I got by him or something.
When I came home from work, he'd be waiting on me with the ball, and we spent a lot of time together.
And he never pushed me. He never said, hey, come on, I'm going to make you go out and catch 50 ground balls and throw 100 passes a day or something like that. He never did that sort of thing. It was always, if I wanted to do it, then he would be there for me to help me do it.
Dan Marino Sr. drives a delivery truck for the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette. And Dan Jr. grew up in this middle-class neighborhood in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh, within walking distance of his high school, Central Catholic, and his university, Pittsburgh. Monongahela, Pennsylvania, is Joe Montana's hometown. Its main street is typical of all small towns, with its shops and social clubs. It is presently feeling the loss of 7,000 jobs at a nearby factory, but Joe grew up happily and comfortable in this house on Park Avenue. Joe's father and mother work in the office of a financial firm, and Joe's father was so dedicated to his son's future that he once considered changing jobs.
I went for an interview for a job one time, and I told the guy, he said, well, why do you want to move? I said, well, we had a few problems in school with one of the coaches, and, you know, and we felt that we want to move to a different environment. And he said, well, why? I said, well, I think Joe's going to play in the pros one of these days, and the way things are going now, he's not going to get that opportunity to do it, and that's the reason why I wanted to move.
One reason Western Pennsylvania produces so many good football players is the intensity of their high school programs. Chuck Abramsky was Joe Montana's high school coach.
I think the reason is we're very, very competitive. It's a still, it was a still town. It was a town where you had to work for a living, and I think sports was an outlet. It was everything to us. We didn't have money back then, and it's the environment here, and it's never changed.
But above the work ethic is the strong family units that the Polish, Irish, and Italian descendants have established. Dan Marino's high school coach was Rich Ederle.
Everything that Danny did was done in a family atmosphere. He's from a Polish, Italian family, and it was kind of an ethnic atmosphere. Decisions are made around the coffee table in the living room. And
not only Danny, but I think all three of our children, if they're thinking about doing something, they seek our advice.
We both raised them from the time they were little. No matter what problem you have, big or small, don't ever be afraid to come to us and talk to us about it.
Both Marino and Montana are gone now, gone to fancier cities with different climates and different lifestyles. But while they're away, their families can watch their exploits, thanks to these satellite dishes in their backyards, gifts from their grateful sons. This steel mill is closed, as many are in the Pittsburgh area. And a lot of people have written off towns like Pittsburgh and moved to the Sun Belt and the warmth of our new technology. But for those who have stayed behind, life goes on, based on the same old values, values which have produced some remarkable individuals. Two of those individuals, two boys from this neighborhood, will clash on an alien field in California, products of an environment which, despite economic difficulties, remains vital and healthy.
Stanford Stadium, it is filled to capacity. 85,000 on hand for Super Bowl 19. The sun has started to come out. The field is in tremendous shape. The weather is fine for the meeting of the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. There they are, the two finest this year in the National Football League. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford. I'll be calling the play-by-play for you today, along with Don Meredith and Joe Theismann. We are delighted to bring you Super Bowl 19. We have said just about everything that could be said about a football game, but perhaps it might be well to keep in mind that this is a game played by little kids. They grew up loving this game, and what we have here is the ultimate. The big men playing it, and they're not playing it totally for love of the game. I'll tell you what they're going to make. $36,000 to the winner, $18,000 to the loser. The team that wins today's game will have won in the playoffs, $64,000 overall. The losing team will walk away with $46,000. There's $18,000 on the line. What more can you say? The team that has scored the most points in the season, the Miami Dolphins, against the team that has allowed the fewest, the San Francisco 49ers, the two finest quarterbacks in the game, Dan Marino and, of course, Joe Montana. Right now, for a final word before we get this thing underway, let's turn to my colleague, Don Meredith. Don?
Well, Frank, obviously it's going to be very unlucky to be behind at the end of this game, as they say.
That's true.
But it's really so exciting. We've all had a lot of fun, and we have gone through it and analyzed it. I think one final touch before we get to the kickoff is I would really kind of like to say I'm going with O.J. also. I think he touched on 2 points in the pregame show. I think a lot of pressure is going to be on that secondary for the 49ers today, and I think a real key is will San Francisco be able to run? But I really kind of want to know, I'm going to ask Joe. Joe, got to be some big butterflies going down there, and particularly the 2 quarterbacks.
Well, there's particularly one quarterback with big butterflies. He's sitting right here right now. This particular moment in the football game is the one you probably dread the most. Your mouth is dry, your stomach are like 2 747s in a dogfight inside of it. You make any number of trips to the bathroom. You just don't really know what to do. You can't wait for this game to get started. You go through your final checklist. Every player has the little idiosyncrasies they go through. They say a little prayer, they talk to another player, they shake a hand. All those things have been done right now, and the preparation for Super Bowl 19 is complete. I really feel like it's going to be a great matchup, and I hate to disagree with Coach Landry again. can, but I do have to agree with O.J. I think the 49ers going into this football game are the team that'll probably be the team that'll come out on top. And the reason why is because defenses have been dictating the tempo of Super Bowls for many years, and I don't really see it changing in this particular football game. Marino is a great one, but I just don't think that offenses can carry you entirely through a season. The defense of the 49ers, they do it all. Joe Montana, if the 49ers do get ahead, does have the ability with the running backs, with the wide receivers, to control the tempo of the game. This is one area where I don't necessarily feel that the Miami Dolphins have that particular strength. They're a football team that goes out and tries to score and score in a hurry. And I really feel like it's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to be a part of it, Frank.
Thank you, Joe. Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins. He quarterbacked the Redskins in the last 2 Super Bowls, and he has met both of these teams this past season. We are moments away from the introduction of the 2 football teams. Of course, it has been said many times, they have a combined record of 33-3. And for the San Francisco 49ers, they have won more regular season games than any team in the history of the NFL. The Dolphins were very close with their explosive offense. They will be coming onto the field in a moment. The offensive unit for the Miami Dolphins will be introduced, and the defensive unit for the 49ers. Let's meet them now.
The offensive unit of the Miami Dolphins. At wide receiver, number 85, Mark Duper. Left tackle, number 79, John Giesler. Left guard, number 61, Roy Foster. At center, number 57, Dwight Stevenson. Right guard, number 64, Ed Newman. Right tackle, number 74, Cleveland Green. Right in, number 84, Bruce Hardy. Wide receiver, number 83, Mark Clayton. Quarterback, number 13, Dan Marino. Running back, number 34, Woody Bennett. Coach Don Shula and the remainder of the Miami Dolphins. Of the San Francisco 49ers. At left end, number 65, Lawrence Pillars. Nose tackle, number 78, Manu Tuiasosopo. Right in, number 76, Dwayne Board. Left outside linebacker, number 57, Dan Bunch. Left inside linebacker, number 50, Ricky Ellison. Right inside linebacker, number 64, Jack Reynolds. Right outside linebacker, number 58, Keena Turner. Left cornerback, number 42, Ronnie Lott. Right cornerback, number 21, Eric Wright. Strong safety, number 27, Carlton Williamson. Free safety, number 22, Dwight Hicks. Coach Bill Walsh and the remainder of the San Francisco 49ers.
Please give a Super Bowl 19 welcome
to the all-time great running back of the 49ers, who with the referee Pat Haggerty will conduct the coin toss for today's game. Hugh McElhenney.
Captains, will you introduce yourself, please? Joining us for the toss of the coin, the President of the United States, Mr. Ronald Reagan.
Mr. McElhenney, it's a distinct pleasure and a privilege for me to be a participant, although I wish I could be a participant closer at hand. But who makes the call?
Mr. President, the Dolphins are the visiting team, and Dwight Stevenson will make the call. Captain Stevenson, what will you call? Head. The Dolphins calls head. Mr. President, will you please toss the coin?
It is tails.
San Francisco has won the toss. You can elect to kick. You want the ball? Which goal will you defend? Will you put your back to the goals, please? San Francisco won the toss and will receive, wait a minute, Miami will kick and defend the north goal.
Mr. President, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you. It was a privilege. And all I can say is something that used to be a little prayer of mine when I played football myself. May everyone do their best. May there be no injuries. May the best team win and no one have regrets.
Well, you have to admit, the toss of the coin was rather impressive for Super Bowl 19. Hugh McElhenney and President Ronald Reagan, who earlier today took the formal oath of office. And now the teams are getting aligned on the field. There's head coach Bill Walsh. The genius label, I think, perhaps is going to stick with him whether he likes it or not. A very innovative coach. He does things in a peculiar way at times. And now, as you can see, the teams are deploying. Dropping deep, number 32 is Carl Monroe. He's a small one, 5'8", 166-pounder out of Utah 3 years ago. And Derek Harmon, the record-setting rookie running back out of Cornell. And Uwe von Schamann, although he's had rather a horrendous year in the field goal department, he nevertheless has a big leg and should carry it close to the end zone. Super Bowl 19, the Miami Dolphins and the San Francisco 49ers, the best combined records of any two teams to ever meet in a Super Bowl, 29-3 in the regular season, 33-3 overall. and Joe Montana. They talk of the cool of Dan Marino. Well, this man has been there. He was the Super Bowl quarterback champion back in 1981, the season of 81 when they won 26-21 over Cincinnati. We are ready to get underway. The build-up is over. Derek Harmon. And Derek Harmon tried to stay in bounds at the 6-yard line. He does not do so, and the 49ers will send their offensive unit out deep in their own territory. Joe Montana will step into the huddle. Those are his numbers. Actually, his percentage of completion was slightly higher than that of Dan Marino. The other numbers, however, well, no one came close to Dan Marino this year. Wendell Tyler, he could be a major factor in this game. Set a 49er rushing record this past season, over 1,200 yards. The offensive line, they too, like the Miami Dolphins offensive line, have protected Joe Montana well this year on first down from the 6-yard line. Montana fires, and Freddie Solomon, perhaps taking his eyes off that ball. There'll be a little jumpy in the early going, does not handle it. Let's take a look down that left sideline. Now, we have an unusual camera for you. We don't know that it's ever been used before. It's right down this sideline. And here is Monroe. Derek Harmon, rather, trying to stay in bounds. He almost managed it, but the weight just carried him out. So the 49ers, deep in their own territory, they have a 2nd down and 10. Freddie Solomon, wide receiver, along with Dwight Clark. Clark left, Solomon right. Tyler. Wendell Tyler, and Tyler out over the 10-yard line, up close to the 13-yard line, and let's meet the defensive unit of the Miami Dolphins. Of course, they operate from the 3-4. They were weak against the run. They moved this defense around many ways during the course of the season. Finally, they settled on the 2 inside linebackers, Dave Brophy and Mark Brown. Brophy, as a matter of fact, replacing a Pro Bowl-bound A.J. Douay because of his strength against the run. Tyler got 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2. The ball out over the 13-yard line. Roger Craig and Wendell Tyler and Montana. Play action. Gets it to Tyler, and Tyler will have the 1st down over the 20-yard line to the 24-yard line. While Blackwood was there defensively for him, too. Tell you something?
Well, yeah, you can see his numbers. What happens is Craig will take the fake in. Montana does a nice job drawing the linebackers in. Now Tyler blocks the linebacker, moves on out, does a nice job, Montana, laying it out over, and then Tyler in the open field has been a great receiver for the 49ers all year.
Wendell Tyler setting a 49er rushing record this season, single season record for the 49ers. At the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Tyler once again on the inside, and this time Tyler is hammered. But that was Roger Craig leading the way there. It was Bob Baumauer in on the stop. He's been there. He's a quarterback in the past 2 Super Bowls for the Redskins. It's 2nd down and 6. Montana rolling out, looking for Dwight Clark. 1st down out over the 35-yard line. Dwight Clark, 52 receptions on the season, coming back from knee surgery a year ago, and he is back to all-pro form. Another 1st down for the 49ers. We'll look at it again. Our sideline camera coming into play early in the game.
DC Clark, Dwight the Clark. Dwight's the guy he goes to in his clutch downs, clutch situations, and he keeps his eye on that ball and steps up for a good 1st.
49ers starting from the 6-yard line are now at the 36-yard line. Out comes Wendell Tyler. In comes Earl Cooper, who will line up in the wingback spot. Former running back, good receiver, number 89, Earl Cooper. That's Solomon in motion. Roger Craig, left side. Good defensive play by Glenn Blackwood as Craig, just on sheer strength, carries Glenn Blackwood for about a yard and a half. Roger Craig, he is a man who can do a lot of things on the football field. They were so surprised when they drafted him a year ago that he has such ability, not only as a running back, as a receiver. And he can take that ball in the flat when Montana doesn't find someone downfield and turn a short pass into a long gainer. Craig got a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball near the 38-yard line. Dwight Clark split up at the top of your screen. Roger Craig, right side once again, and down goes Craig. Bob Brzezinski, one of the toughest linebackers in the league against the run, steps in to make the stop. There's a gain of a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. The butterfly's gone at this point.
would you say, Joe?
I think they are. The Butterflies are pretty much passed on. You've had some successful things on offense. You're moving along. Here's Brzezinski coming up, going to meet the back in the backfield. Does a nice job playing it off and closes in. They want to try and funnel everything into their linebackers. Their defensive scheme is set up basically to have their linebackers and interior people make the tackles. They don't necessarily get their cornerbacks and safeties involved that much.
Mike Wilson comes in, number 85, wide receiver for the 49ers. 3rd down and 5. Wendell Tyler, Roger Craig stay in the lineup. Montana, deep drop, fires over the middle, in and out of the hands of Mike Wilson. That would have been a 1st down. Don McNeil was covering, but Montana right on target, and Wilson just did not handle it. And we'll see the punting unit for the 49ers.
Certainly see a little jitters. It started off with a little jitters when you look at the opening kickoff. And you had Dwight, Derek Harmon stepped out of bounds. Dropped a couple of passes in that first series, didn't they?
Yeah, it seems like everybody's pretty settled down, except the receivers just really have to get their hands into the game.
Bolton Walker is deep. Max Runninger is on, averaging just under, a little under 42 yards. Has to hurry that one. Bolton Walker at the 28. And Walker out of the 35 to the 36-yard line, where Miami will have his first possession of the ball game. And a final word of instruction to Dan Marino from head coach Don Shula. We'll be back. The motion man is Bruce Hardy. And Marino will go on top on the first play from scrimmage. Fires, and it goes out complete. That is Tony Nathan. And Tony Nathan inside the 40-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. He does everything so well. He is a good running back and a fine receiver out of the backfield, and they're going to be busy with him throughout the day, Joe.
They like to run this pattern. They run their outside people on an inside post, and they run their backs to the flat. Here Nathan does a great job. Sets up, makes right miss, does a good job running with the football after cuts back inside of Williamson, got a nice block downfield. Now Ronnie Lott hits him, and that's what the 49ers are going to have to do. They think they can hit him.
25-yard pickup, 1st down inside the 49ers 40-yard line.
They got to catch him before they can hit him.
Mark Clayton split to the right. It's Cooper up at the top of your screen, the 2 speedy wide receivers. And a quick look over the middle, and it goes to the tight end. And they get the completion inside the 35. Bruce Hardy opened the game, and Dan Johnson came in to replace him and get a 5-yard pickup. There's your offensive unit. They have protected Dan Marino so well. We talked about it so much during the pregame show. Only 13 sacks on the season for Dan Marino, none in the playoffs. And Cleveland Green, who has played so well this year, along with Roy Foster, filling in for Eric Loxo and an injured Bob Kuchenberg. 2nd down and 5. Woody Bennett left side, and Bennett finds an opening and gets inside the 30-yard line. Another Miami 1st down near the 27-yard line. Woody Bennett, the leading receiver for these Dolphins during the past season. Of course, if you follow the Miami Dolphins, you know they lost their leading receiver of a year ago, Andra Franklin, with a knee injury in the 2nd game of the season. Tragically, they lost David Overstreet in an automobile accident. David Overstreet had come along so well last year. And Woody Bennett has taken up the ball to the running chores for the Dolphins this past season. 1st down and 10. The ball inside the 28-yard line. Marino.
That was a
tries to get it out to Mark Clayton. He had slipped, but nevertheless that ball batted away.
Looked like Carlton Williamson coming in from a safety, which is an unusual type blitz. I think he tipped the ball that Marino had. They're not going to leave any doubt of what they're going to do. They're going to throw the ball. You get an idea, I do anyway, that
what happens here is when the Dolphins go to 2 tight ends, they can put their safety up there. Williamson comes in and makes the play. They're going to force Dan to throw over him. Here it is. He's trying to go out in the flat and the duper and just can't get it.
Looks like he tipped it.
Yep.
2nd down and 10. The ball inside the 28-yard line. No score in the game. First possession for the Miami Dolphins. That's Bruce Hardy setting up as the tight end to the right. Marino out of the backfield. Nathan is open. He'll be short of the 1st down near the 23-yard line. Tony Nathan, who did so well in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh, a typical Nathan day. He had 8 receptions for 114 yards, 64 yards rushing on 19 attempts. This 6th-year man out of Alabama can indeed do it all. He's the one you tend to overlook when you try to double cover on the outside, both Mark Clayton and Mark Cooper. The crowd getting into it. 3rd down and 6. Nat Moore checks in as another wide receiver, as does Jimmy Cephalo. So there are 4 wide receivers on the field now for the Dolphins. In the shotgun, Marino throws underneath. Clayton. And Clayton will be held short of the first down, just inside the 20-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and less than 3. And Don Shula will send on Uwe von Schamann. I mentioned at the top of the show, he has had a horrendous year, the kind that causes nightmares for kickers. He was 9 of 19 during the season. In the playoffs, he was 2 of 5. But in the last 4 regular season games, Uwe von Schamann did not even make a field goal attempt. This will be an attempt of about 37 yards. That would match his season's best. That's almost unheard of in the day of the kicker. Don Strock will place it down. Taves will provide the snap.
All right, Uwe.
So Miami strikes first. Uwe von Schamann. And he should relax a little bit. And Monroe upended as he gets out over the 20. Flips to the 22-yard line on a 16-yard return, and hustling down there, as he does so often, is Charles Benson for the Dolphins. And there is a Dolphin that is down on the field. Dolphins, their last possession. Move the ball 35 yards in 8 plays before settling for the 3-point field goal. That's Robert Sowell, who is down, the second-year youngster out of Howard, who plays so well on these special teams. Quite a story, this youngster. He literally battled his way into the world of pro football, and they are looking at him now at the 19-yard line. We'll be right back. Teams, he just have to put blinkers on, turn it on full speed, and here's what happened to Sowell. He caught the knee. It looks like on the left shoulder or maybe even on the head. There he is on the sidelines. They are looking at Sowell. He's shaking his head, and perhaps he might just have had just a slight concussion out of that. He caught the knee right on the side of the head. First down and 10, the 49ers. On their last possession, they moved the ball 35 yards. Montana with a couple of drop passes. The one suspects they will let settle down. On first down and 10, Roger Craig in the flat. And Craig over the 25, getting close to the 28-yard line. A gain of about 6 before Charles Bowser makes the stop for the Dolphins. Roger Craig, second-year man out of Nebraska, and he can turn a short one into a very long run on a reception. He did it against the Rams, going 70 yards for a touchdown on a little short pass in the flat.
That's an interesting stat. See, I had that statistic here already for you. The team has scored first. You see, they win 15 out of 18 times. I've got another one for you just in a minute, Joe. Don't go away.
Second down and 4. The ball just out over the 28-yard line. Roger Craig in motion. Draw play, Tyler. Good move by Tyler. And Tyler will be close to first down. I think he'll have it at the 34-yard line, slipping away from a Dolphin at the line of scrimmage and going down in the arms of Bob Brzezinski. And we want to remind you, tomorrow, watch ABC News live coverage of the inauguration of President Ronald Reagan. Join Peter Jennings, David Brinkley, and all the people of ABC News for reaction from around the nation and the world. Inauguration 85 tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and of course you'll see it right here on ABC. First down and 10. The ball near the 34-yard line of the 49ers. They're down 3-0. Dwight Clark. Clark tries to move back inside, held short of the first down by William Judson. Dwight Clark maybe does not have that great speed that he came into the league. It never was great, but after that knee problem that he had a year ago, perhaps has slowed up somewhat, Joe.
He is just a little bit. Plus, he's had a sore leg all week from trying to imitate Jimmy Cefalo in the Miami offense, as well as the players help out on the defensive teams. There he just makes a nice little out move, 5-yard catch, 5-yard run. Now you've got second down and inches.
The word is on Robert Sowell. He was shaken up. He will be back. Second down, less than a yard to go. The ball near the 43-yard line of the 49ers. Wendell Tyler. Big opening inside, and Tyler uses it to pick up the first down. Out near the 48-yard line as Bob Brzezinski made the stop once again. And one has to wonder if maybe the 49ers are not thinking that we can run this ball against the Miami Dolphins that struggled so hard throughout the entire season against the run. Your thoughts, Still Theismann?
Well, what they want to do really is they want to just try and control the game. Now, they do it with such a wonderful style of short control passes. They will abandon the running game for a little while, but they're not going to give it up completely.
49ers, first down and 10. The ball inside their own 49-yard line. Draw play action, screen out to the right. Roger Craig, and Roger Craig crosses midfield for the 49ers, but he's held to a 2-yard pickup.
Love to see those old boys can reach back with one hand and pull that thing in like that. Good catch, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it was a great catch. Not only that, he does a good job. You see the linebackers closing inside again off of play action. Little reach back with your right hand. That's why he's become such an invaluable receiver out of the backfield.
Leading receiver for the 49ers. And I'll tell you, when he gets it in the flat, he can do a lot of things with it.
Deceptively quick.
Montana now 5 of 7, 35 yards. The 2 that were incomplete should have been caught. 2nd down and 8. 2 tight ends are in. Roger Craig. Single step back, and they try him over the left side, and they pick up Roger Craig rather briskly as Bob Baumauer, who is heading for his 5th straight Pro Bowl next week, makes the stop. Let's watch him again. He is a big nose tackle. He's 6'5".
He was able to make a quick adjustment in there. You saw him trying to block down. I believe that was John Ayers that was trying to block down. But Baumauer is very quick in there, not very big. Get him out to the outside. He didn't make it behind his blockers.
The 49ers left them in a 3rd and long situation, 3rd down and 7. We have the situational substitution on the part of the Miami Dolphins. They bring in 6 defensive backs, and the 49ers have called timeout. We have 3:28 remaining in the first quarter, and the Dolphins lead 3-0 in Super Bowl 19. The corner of Stanford Stadium, where the fans here can watch the replays. 3rd down and 7 now for the 49ers. They're at the 48-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. They're down 3-0. Skeets Nehemiah in the ball game. That's the top of your screen. Montana slips and slides. He does it well. He'll get the first down.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Montana, he's been doing that ever since he came up from Notre Dame 6 years ago.
It's such a wonderful cliche, but it's absolutely true. I think Joe alluded to it earlier. Montana has a way of just coming up with something that's going to beat you.
Yeah, if you have nothing out there, if there's no play, he has the greatest ability to make things happen. Here you'll see him. Linebacker carves hard inside. Joe just gives him a little limp leg and takes off down the sidelines. Now, the defense is in man-to-man coverage. You might be wondering why nobody's chasing him. They're chasing the receivers downfield. The closest one to him is a defensive lineman. He gets out of bounds. Smart move.
Montana to the 33-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. 1st down and 10. A little roll to the right. Montana fires a shot. It's incomplete.
Right.
Out of the backfield of the wingback spot with Carl Monroe.
Hey, hey, hey.
33-yard touchdown. Carl Monroe, I mentioned earlier, a little man in a big man's game, 5'8", 166 pounds. Had not seen that much action all season long.
Look at that.
He comes up with a sudden touchdown for the 49ers. Let's look at it again.
Montana here, what he does so well is he rolls out to the left, pulling. He's actually working half the football field. They've cleared out with 1. There's a great throw, a great catch.
Yeah.
And there it is. Oops, wait a second. Let me pick it up so I can spike it.
Spike it one more time.
Blackwood tried to stay with Carl Monroe. He did not do so. Ray Wersching for the conversion, and the 49ers had suddenly taken the lead. We knew we were going to see offense once these 2 teams settle down. I think we're going to see much, much more of it. Let's look at it again from our reverse angle camera.
Here it is. You'll see the Dolphins are trying to stay basically in man-to-man coverage with their secondary, their linebackers. There's a soft area there. The linebacker, Don McNeil, slips down, and there it is, into the painted area.
A bit of a break for the 49ers. Don McNeil did slip down. Lyle Blackwood a little out of position, and a touchdown for the 49ers. Number 41, Fulton Walker. There he is. Holds a Super Bowl record for kickoff returns. Did it against my colleague in the booth, Joe Theismann.
Thank you for mentioning it.
190 yards on 4 returns in that Super Bowl game. Not all Miami did against the Redskins that year. Taken on a short kick by Bruce Hardy, and Hardy lumbers up to the 30-yard line. And let's go back and look at Montana's 33-yard touchdown pass to Carl Monroe. And here's Tom Landry.
Frank, this is a flood pattern. They're running the roll out here from Montana here, but what they're trying to do is flood the zone with these 3 men here. Deep, cut out pass, short, and they took the intermediate guy for the touchdown as you see it unfold. He's going down in there, see him break in between the zone perfectly. He could have hit White deep, Clark deep for the touchdown, or they could have taken that one. They took it for a touchdown. Back to you, Frank.
Thank you, Tom. You saw the slip of Don McNeil. That could have made a difference. 49ers leading 7-3, 3:02 remaining in the first quarter. Miami First down at the lone 30-yard line. The two setbacks are Nathan 22, Bennett 34. This is Nathan. And Nathan sprawls up close to the 35-yard line. Give him 4 to bring up second down and 6. And let's take a look at that scoring drive. We'll give you the runs in red. We'll give you the passes in black. And, of course, it was the 33-yard TD shot from Montana to Monroe. On second down and 6. Fired and it's complete. And it goes in quickly to Mark Clayton. And, boy, I'll tell you, he had something on that one.
He had something on it, and they also didn't have a huddle that time, and it looks like they're not going to do it again. This is a hurry-up offense. That's a little trick play.
You usually see this when they are getting a lot of defensive changes. They will come with this when they try to avoid the change of personnel on the part of the defense. That has not been the case with the 49ers. It's first down and 10 from the 48-yard line of the 49ers. Marino again fires. Is Duper this time, and Duper looks at the first down marker, steps out of bounds inside the 37. First down Miami once again, right in front of Eric Wright. And it would appear the 49ers are going to try to do what they can with Eric Wright in single coverage and try to get the double coverage to help Ronnie Lott at the other corner. Let's watch again.
They have rolled over to the right side, which is where Ronnie Lott is. You'll see Marino work to his left.
Now there's Duper on the side. He's not quite sure whether to run out of bounds or how close is Wright.
But look at the respect that Eric Wright had to give Duper. And Eric Wright is one of the better man-to-man defenders in the league. Duper got the first down, 37-yard line of the 49ers. Marino on a long count. Marino fires. Clayton once again. And Clayton to the 23-yard line with another Miami first down. He goes down in the arms of Jack Reynolds. A 13-yard pickup. There will be no huddle.
This is, I think, a really smart move. But they've got 49er defense a little bit shook up back there.
Hey, when you don't huddle, you save a lot of time. And with their offensive strength, they can get a lot more plays in, I guess. On first and 10. Marino. Oh, back to Johnson, and Johnson breaks the tackle. He's inside the 5-yard line. Dan Johnson, he was very ill on Friday night. They did not know whether he was going to be able to play. Late in December, he had an intestinal problem, lost 25 pounds, and he has just come up with a big play on first down.
There he is. What happened is the cornerback, as you can see, Wright followed the wide receiver in, left Dan Johnson wide open in the flat. Had it not been for a stumble and a little tackle by Buns, he would have gotten in the end zone.
That's Buns' man, though, coming out of the sideline. I mean, the tight end, he had to have him all the way.
First down, goal to go. Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. And at the moment, the 49ers leading 7-3. Bennett and Nathan the setbacks. Nathan will move in motion. Marino. Johnson. Dan Johnson. Touchdown, Miami. This is the Miami offense that we have been anticipating.
And it's going to be the offense of the rest of the 80s and the 90s if they don't change a few rules. Throw that ball.
And on first down, goal to go inside the 2. What do you think, Joe, of this call?
Well, there's no question about it. You know they're going to throw the football here. Dan Johnson just works in behind Reynolds and finds a little soft spot in the defense, and bang, you got yourself 6 points.
It didn't take them very long, did it?
Uwe von Schamann for the conversion. The Dolphins back in front. The Dolphins have pulled ahead of the 49ers 10-7. At 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and kind of an unusual twist. Von Schamann kicks away. And here comes Derek Harmon. And Derek Harmon found a little bit of an opening. The whistle had blown as the ball came loose. And the 49ers will have the ball just inside their own 30-yard line, 23-yard return. We want to remind you, ABC's Super Sunday will continue tonight with the premiere of a special new series, Magruder and Loud, right after our Super Bowl coverage. So stay with us throughout the day and the evening.
Tell you, Derek Harmon's better be happy that he hit the ball, hit the ground and fumble, because that kid would have gotten off to a pretty tough start, wouldn't he? Yeah. 6 for 8 and 2 drop.
That's not bad numbers. First down and 10 near the 30-yard line. Fake draw play by Montana. Looks downfield, nothing doing there. Whips it to Roger Craig, and Roger Craig does this very well. Craig out over the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. Mark Brown upending Roger Craig. But you saw the classic Montana, looking downfield. The receiver was not open. He knew that Roger Craig was going to be there, whipped it out, and the 49ers get a first down. We will not have another play here in the first quarter. But as I mentioned earlier, already the highest scoring first quarter in the history of Super Bowl competition. So after the first period, it is well over 100 million watching throughout the world, over 30 countries taking the feed from Stanford Stadium.
And they're not disappointed so far.
First down and 10, the 49ers. The ball near their own 48-yard line. Ronaldo Nehemiah in the game, number 83. He's up at the top of your screen. The other wide receiver, Freddie Solomon, split to the right. Again, draw play action.
Wide open.
Going deep for Nehemiah. And it's a foot race down the left side. William Judson and Ronaldo Nehemiah.
It had to be one of those plays they just wanted to throw that ball deep because Freddie Solomon was sure wide open coming over the middle. But Skeets is the guy that's got the speed that can certainly get their attention.
That's an area on the football field where if you're going to get a big play, you want to put it up. You're right around the 50-yard line. You know you've almost got one. You may as well take it. You've got world-class speed outside against somebody maybe not as fast, so you take a shot at it. At least you're letting the defense know that they have to think deep.
Now you're thinking first down on second down and 10. Dwight Clark, the man who does it better than most, comes in, number 87, top of your screen. Freddie Solomon is over on the right side. That's Russ Francis in motion. Here's Roger Craig. That's a little bit of a block from Wendell Tyler. Not enough as the defense collapses on Roger Craig. Holds him to about a 2-yard pickup. It'll be third down and long yardage.
First quarter stats, Joe.
Is there any surprise?
Well, no. You know, the nice thing is that these guys are doing exactly what everybody said they were going to do. We're going to move it up and down the field. I think if there's a new twist so far, you could just say, hey, the passing yardage is all pretty easy, but nobody expected Miami to come out and run without a huddle.
We'll extrapolate that offensive yardage. It'll be over a 500-yard game for the 49ers, well over 400 for Miami. We'll see how it goes. Third down and long. Again, draw play action. Montana, Nehemiah, and off the fingertips. It was Lyle Blackwood dropping deep, providing the inside coverage, helping out on Don McNeil. It's incomplete, and we'll see the punting unit once again for the 49ers. That means Max Runniger.
I get an idea that Montana's read, Joe, that you said he didn't throw the ball deep very well. There he's coming out to show you I can throw that ball deep. I don't complete it.
He hasn't completed one yet.
Olton Walker is back, settles in at about the 11-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins have not been a good return team this year, either on the punting unit or the kickoff return unit. And Runniger with a fine kick. Gets it out of bounds inside the 15 near the 13-yard line. And there is Stanford Stadium, built in 1922 at a cost of a little over $500,000. And for the next 30 seconds, we're going to match that. That's about what it cost. Years old and 4 months, and I got a feeling that Dan Marino is not too happy. He feels he should be 10 for 10.
Well, he threw one up away. He hasn't any of them dropped yet, so 9 out of 10, throw one away.
He's completed the last 7 straight. Miami first down and 10. The ball at their 14-yard line. Those 7 he's completed in a row is one away from the Super Bowl record, I might add. Consecutive completions. Held by my colleague in the booth, Joe Theismann and Lenny Dawson. On first down. And Woody Bennett is tripped up. Good defensive play. Hustling in there. Fred Dean ordinarily in there against the pass, but I guess if you're playing against Miami, you keep Dean in there most of the time.
We had heard earlier in the week that this might be what they would do on first downs is bring Fred Dean in. His amazing quickness to get off that ball. That's how he gets to the quarterback so quickly. You saw him there get back and make a good tackle.
Held out until after the 11th game, but he came back and he was smoking when he came back. 4 sacks in the 5 games in which he played, and he made a big play there for the 49ers. A loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Marino sets up right at the goal line, and his receiver, his intended receiver, tight end Bruce Hardy, had fallen incomplete.
Another thing that we heard that they might do with Fred Dean was set him a little bit wider, and on that last play you could see that maybe he was out a little bit wider. The reason is they want to try to spread that offensive line. They feel they do such a good job of holding that pocket in the middle, but move the guard out a little bit, move the tackle out a little bit. That time it seemed to work.
Colorful Don Shula looking on. His team right now with 13-15 remaining in the first half leads the 49ers in Super Bowl 19 10-7. Third down 14. Pete Johnson And Tony Nathan will watch from the shotgun. Marino, and this time throwing behind his intended receiver, Nat Moore. That will bring up 4th down. It was pressure once again by Fred Dean on Dan Marino.
There's a statistic that's very hard for me to believe, but in 47 times this year when the Miami Dolphins have been in 3rd and 10 or longer, they have made a first down 22 times. That's almost 50%. Most people don't do that on 3rd and 4.
That's right. We are going to now watch Reggie Roby, and he is really fun to watch. He averaged 44.7 yards over the season, led the NFL in net average, but he gets the ball so high. Deep is Dana McLemore for the 49ers, a dangerous return man. He returned one earlier in the season against the Giants, 79 yards for a touchdown. Roby, this time, does not get it to turnover. It's a low kick, and it does not take a good Miami bounce. So the 49ers are going to have good field position as Roby gets a 37-yard effort, well below his average, and the 49ers down 10-7, have great field position at the 47 of Miami. Formation. Again, a play action by Montana, and again an open field for Montana. And he gets inside the 30-yard line. Another running first down for Joe Montana, pickup of 17 yards. And again, it appeared to be man-for-man coverage. The defender not even watching Joe Montana. He was able to pick up the first down.
Does a nice job of faking to Tyler inside. Now you can see the double coverage is taken off. They're all in man-to-man coverage. When the secondary's locked up with receivers, you wind up with 10 or 15 yards. And Joe is an exceptional runner after he gets downfield.
It's good work by Sullivan down there blocking for him.
The Giants in the playoff game well remember Joe's 50-yard scamper, and when he was sitting back there looking for a receiver. Guy McIntyre into the lineup, the guard the 49ers like to use as a lead blocker, but the completion is to Dwight Clark, another 49er first down at the 12-yard line. Lyle Blackwood made the stop, a 15-yard pickup.
A terrifically controlled pattern by Clark that time. He just goes down, and this is the kind of situation they really do use Dwight in a lot. You watch him come off the line of scrimmage, kind of look around, see where all these defensive people are. Lyle Blackwood's in front of him. He said, I'll just turn up right here. Joe reads him so well. The ball was delivered on time.
Interesting, on a running situation, they made it look that way. They had Guy McIntyre, the guard, in there that they always use on running downs, and they came with the pass. On first down and 10, inside handoff, and it goes to Wendell Tyler. He's inside the 10 and inside the 8-yard line in the arms of Bob Brzezinski. Lyle Blackwood up there also helping out for the Miami Dolphins. Tyler on the year, 1,262 yards, breaking the single-season rushing record of the 49ers. Dale Williams averaging 5.1 per carry. Only one other football player was better than that. That's Eric Dickerson. Tyler got 4 at second down and 6. Montana looking, fires it complete. It's Roger Craig. Touchdown 49ers, and this is what we anticipated. An offensive show from Stanford Stadium here in Super Bowl 19. Roger Craig, touchdown shot of 8 yards from Joe Montana.
It looked like to me, Joe, that he was kind of a trail route. Let's see if we'll pick it up here. Craig's coming, of course, out of the backfield. Dwight Clark, you'll see go through first. Kind of cleared it out. And right in behind him, and he says, that's it. Good enough. Actually, that was Russ Francis that cleared it out in there, number 81.
That's a lot of men clearing it out. Big Russ Francis. Ray Wershing pops it through for the conversion. And we have a new leader in this game, 14-10. The 49ers retake the lead. And there is the second-year young man from Nebraska. He's quite a football player. Craig have retaken the lead. Joe Montana, very cool.
That was a good drive, wasn't it? They just kind of picked them away, went one side or the other, moved it right down the field. Good run by Montana to set that one up.
Wershing. And it will be Fulton Walker at the 2-yard line. Fulton Walker out to the 30-yard line, where it will be first down Miami. Let's go back and take a look at Montana's shot to Roger Craig from 8 yards out. Here is head coach Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, Frank, it was a great job here. Actually, Greg was going to be the receiver. He's going to run a circle route. Francis is coming in and taking out the middle linebacker with his move. Craig comes out here, fakes outside, breaks inside, and, of course, perfect pass. Went right in for the touchdown, as you see here. There goes Francis. He takes Brophy out of there to cover him. He breaks in right behind him, catches the ball, makes a good drive into the goal line for a touchdown. Back to you, Frank.
I'll say it again. When they got Roger Craig in the second round of a year ago, and Wendell Tyler in a trade from the Los Angeles Rams, it changed the entire capabilities of this 49er team that went to Super Bowl 16 without any running attack whatsoever. There was a face mask call while we were away against Jeff Fuller. It'll be first down, Miami at the 35-yard line. Woody Bennett. And Bennett hammers his way up close to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 4 yards. There's Fulton Walker, I spoke of it a moment ago. Injured early in the season, missed the first 4 games with a broken thumb. But a dangerous return man, even though he has not been terribly successful this past year. Just under 11 minutes remaining in the first half of Super Bowl 19. The Dolphins trailing the 49ers 14-10. Second down and 6.
Shotgun.
On the shotgun. Marino flips it quickly out to Nathan. And Nathan is picked up short of the first down. Jeff Fuller was up there defensively along with cornerback Eric Wright. Gain of about 3. It'll be third down and 3.
Miami will use that particular play just like a running play for them. They pick up 4 with a run to Bennett on first down, then they pick up a little pass to Nathan out of the backfield on second down. They wind up with 3rd and 2, exactly where they'd like to be.
The 4 wide receiver offense is in for Miami. Duper, Moore, Clayton, and Suffalo. And once again, the shotgun. Dwight Stevenson, the center. Looks over the defensive set. Calls the signals to his offensive line. Marino with a lot of time, and he underthrows Clayton. Or Nat Moore in this occasion. But that was one you would just anticipate would be so easy as you watch Dan Marino throughout the season.
You'd think so, but the 49ers secondary does such a good job of just tying the receiver up at the line of scrimmage. You'll see Hicks here. He ties him up just a little bit at the line, makes him change his route. He's leaning on him. Now he comes back and trips just a little, and there's the ball a little bit underthrown. Good protection back.
And that'll bring on Reggie Roby once again. Second-year man out of Iowa. Big man, 6'2", 243-pounder. With that one step. Again, it doesn't turn over. Again, a short kick, and here is Dana McLemore. McLemore with a fine return out to the 45-yard line. He averaged just under 12 yards on the year. Third-year man out of Hawaii, dangerous return man. In each of his first 3 years, he's taken one back for a touchdown, and he does it this way.
Tasman is an old returner yourself. What'd he do?
He did a lot more things than I was able to do. Here he sets the defense up, gets him moving to the left, and brings it back against the grain. Oddly enough, when you start to cut back inside, you wind up running back into the pursuit as well.
McLemore gets out to the 45-yard line. Good field position once again for the 49ers. They gave the 49ers good field position. Is the 3rd longest in Super Bowl history. History, I might add, of 19 games. 49ers come up at their own 45-yard line. Joe Montana well into this game now, moving the 49er offense very well. Wendell Tyler.
Nice cut.
And Tyler is ever so quick. He's up close to another 49er first down. Tyler played in another Super Bowl for the Los Angeles Rams after the 1980 season. Had a fine performance there, but this past year, he really blossomed. Along with Roger Craig, they gave the 49ers a tremendous running threat. I mentioned earlier, Tyler, over 1,200 yards this year.
He didn't have to go very far for that Super Bowl either. That was played in Pasadena when he was with the Rams, so he's playing his Super Bowls at home.
And he had a big game for the Rams against the Steelers in a losing effort. Single setback now for the 49ers. Roger Craig, 2 tight ends are in, Cooper and Francis. Craig, right side, has the first down easily to the 40-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. 18 of these players playing we are going to watch next Sunday in Honolulu in the Pro Bowl, and we want you to be with us. That'll be a Sunday edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports. The NFL's grand finale, the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl. You'll see Super Bowl quarterbacks Dan Marino and Joe Montana. They're 2 of the 18. Running greats Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, plus Mark Gastineau, and many more. And we'll begin at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the Pro Bowl next Sunday. On 1st and 10. Montana with a lot of time. Russ Francis, the big tight end, just bulls his way for a first down inside the 30-yard line. Lyle Blackwood was trying to wrestle him to the natural turf. But Francis at 6'6" and 240 pounds was able to get close to the first down. Yes, he did get it. Oh, he's strong, Don.
Kind of a delayed route inside, Frank. You see Craig going out. They've been throwing a lot of play-action passes. This time Joe steps up. Lyle hit him a little too high, I think, and Russ is going to get the best of that one.
So much has been said of the offensive line of Miami protecting Dan Marino. Did you see how much time Montana had then? Looked off deep receivers and found Francis. First down. Play action. Francis open.
Is that a nice play?
That's one the Dolphins have not seen in the films this year. Close to the 10-yard line. First down 49ers, and they are picking the Dolphin defense apart.
I thought they made a mistake in the backfield, Joe.
It's just a tremendous fake by Joe. He holds all linebackers. Now you see him pass. Now there comes Russ through everybody. There's a gigantic hole. Makes a great reception. Now try and bring him down.
Dudzinski got there, but a little bit late.
You wonder what those Dolphin defenders were thinking of as Francis went underneath them.
Such a great play-action fake in the backfield.
Montana, 11 of 15, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. And on first down, we'll watch Roger Craig. And Craig down close to the 6-yard line before Kim Bocamper makes the stop. Gain of 4.
It's really silly, I guess, to say, but every time you see Roger Craig play, it seems to me he gets a little bit better. He's running a little bit more confidently, and certainly he's a good pass receiver.
I think the longer you're in the system, the more and more comfortable you feel, and you don't have to think. You just react to what's happening.
7:15, the clock is moving, remaining in the first half. The 49ers leading 14-10. It's second down and 6. The ball at the Dolphins 6. Montana changing things off.
Oh, is that smart?
Montana, touchdown 49ers. Look for the wide receiver. He was covered well. Looking for Dwight Clark. Saw the opening, pulled it down into the end zone from 6 yards out.
Great reactions, Joe.
His running ability really is so phenomenal. He has great natural instincts, has the ability to make things happen in a split second. Here he is. He's going to look out to the left side to try and hit Clark on a quick post. He can't there. The hole opens up. He says, holy mackerel.
Didn't hesitate, though, did he? Look
Not
at
all.
If you're going to give me this, I'll take it. Wershing as Montana places it down. 21-10. And the Dolphins and Don Shula must be getting concerned, even though we have 6:58 remaining in the first half. Wershing hangs it high. Walker from the 1-yard line. And Walker out over the 25-yard line to the 26. Let's join Tom Landry now.
Frank, what happened on this play? It was a key play. It was a blitz. It came from the outside. Browser came from the outside. Wendell Tyler kicked him out. All the linemen charged to the inside, which gave Montana a perfect opening to make his run. As you see this play unfold, you see Montana come back in the pocket. You see the linebacker blitzes outside, man-to-man coverage, and he breaks inside on the play and goes in for the touchdown.
We've said it so often, athletic skills for a quarterback are a tremendous plus, and Montana has so many. First down and 10. 26-yard line, the Miami Dolphins. They trail now 21-10. Marino back. Blitz is on. They hit him late, but nevertheless, they hit him.
It wasn't late.
He will be remembering.
It's the first time he's been hit all day, though, Frank.
That's something we have been thinking about, but no two teams have ever come into this Super Bowl with the records that these two teams have.
Yeah, but that was the little information that I had for Joe a while ago. He never did ask me about it.
Oh.
Everybody says, you know, you've got to get to him, and if you don't tackle him, you've got to hit him after it. That's Big Hands Johnson, acquisition from San Diego.
Second down and 10 for Dan Marino. Tony Nathan, and down goes Tony Nathan again. It's Gary Johnson.
Another wide set for the defensive ends, and they are trying to spread them all out. You'll see Gary this time moves quickly to the outside. Really, I think they were expecting a pass, but you see him move to the outside, brushing them off, and that's pretty doggone quick for a guy Big heads. Yeah, he only weighs 265 pounds.
Gary Johnson making a big play. Earlier, Fred Dean made a big play. They were all former San Diego Chargers, as was Louis Kelcher. They are all here as 49ers in the Super Bowl. Third down, long yardage for the Dolphins. They'll move from the shotgun. A lot of time.
All right.
Mark Duper was open. Marino held it uncharacteristically long, and Eric Wright was able to get back for the deflection.
What terrific quickness by Wright to recover, because he had him beaten, Joe.
He sure did. Duper had the sideline there. He's set. You'll see him go in. He starts his move in a little bit. Wright's trying to give him room. He knows his speed, turns him around, and the ball's behind him. There's nothing there.
Oh, that is
Can't
such
get back to it.
Terrific defensive move.
This is not the Marino that we have watched throughout most of the season. Earlier, he missed a shot to net more. That would have been a key first down. This time, behind Duper and late getting it to Duper. Here's Dana McLemore and Reggie Roby. Roby, again, not a good kick. And McLemore doing what he could, taking the short kick. He could not look for a picket line. He gets back to the 48-yard line. And let's take a look at Eric Wright, one of the fine defensive backs, reacting. But again, Marino was just a little late delivering that, Joe.
As the ball comes in, you see Wright is really beat. He just gets his left arm up, doesn't even try and make a play for it, just tries to block the vision of Duper, manages it to knock it away. They're playing really good, sound, solid defense.
5:44 remaining in the first half. 49ers 21, Dolphins by Miami have produced little or nothing. It's been a San Francisco second quarter. They lead 21-10 with 5:44 remaining in the half. Once again, they have good field position at their own 48-yard line. That's Nehemiah in motion. Again, the play fake. Montana in trouble, and Doug Betters covers him quickly at the 42-yard line.
Joe waited a little too long that time, I think.
Yeah, he just, you get pretty comfortable back there. You feel pretty good. Then all of a sudden, the pocket starts to cave in. Now, you got to give credit to the Miami defense, though. They did a nice job of filling the zones all the way downfield and stopping Joe from being able to get it up the field.
Betters led the Dolphins in sacks over the season with 14 sacks. Frank Gifford, along with Don Meredith and quarterback Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins, who met both of these teams during the course of the season. We won't have to go over the results of those meetings.
Thanks.
Second down and 15. Underneath. And that's Roger Craig. Once again, William Judson made the stop. 19-yard pickup, and Roger Craig is having a big day. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage as we look at it once again.
I couldn't see for sure. I think it's Sanders Shiver is the linebacker that's trying to catch up with him, and he just had a step. That's too much speed.
Another one-handed catch. Reaches out, snatches it in, and off he's on his way again.
The options being discussed with Montana. It should work against Miami.
Holding. Number 28. Defense. Declined. First down.
Referee Pat Haggerty. The 49ers, of course, will take the yardage. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of Miami. Bill Walsh, who won Super Bowl 16 without a running attack against Cincinnati, 26-21, is looking for another. On first down. Montana pulls it down.
Oh, is that a fun play?
Sniffed out the first down yardage marker, knew that he was going to get hit if he went for it. Mark Brown taking him out of bounds, just short of a first down.
Interesting call because Russ Francis kind of came from the other side of the field and tried to get in the pass play, make it kind of an option runner pass. Joe decided to run.
Well, that's the same play they hit earlier in that last drive. Montana makes a little play action fake in the backfield to get the linebackers flowing to the right. Francis comes back across the grain. Montana had the option that time to throw or run. That time he decided to run.
Joe Montana picks up 8. Second down and 2. The ball just short of Miami's 30-yard line. Could be a change-off.
Oh, he's wide open.
Wide open. That's Freddie Solomon. Bobbles the ball. Wow, Blackwood put the hit on Solomon.
That's a late call. He's calling it an incomplete pass, I think.
got to see this one. I agree, Lyle, I agree.
They're calling it an incomplete pass. And that was close. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. There's Solomon.
Solomon catches the ball.
There's Lyle Blackwood.
He has possession. He's trying to run with it.
That is a fumble.
That is a fumble. I guess you can't see them all. There's 7 of them out there.
Fumble for us, a fumble for you, but for the 49ers, an incompletion. 3rd down and a short 3 for the 49ers. Dwight Clark splits to the left. Earlier, same situation. The 49ers put it in the air. This time they go in the ground to Wendell Tyler. He has the 1st down.
Oh, boy.
And much more to the 20-yard line.
Jay Brophy came over that time.
The natural tendency right now is for Miami to be saying, gee whiz, we had the fumble. We know we had the football. Come on, refs, you took one away from us. What they can't do now is worry about what happened before. They've got to confront the 49ers on this play and not worry about 2 ago.
4:25, and the clock moves. That time remaining in the 1st half, with the 49ers on top, 21-10. Tyler was marked at the 21-yard line. Play action again by Montana. And again, running room, but he all the time in the world to throw the ball. He gets it to Russ Francis, who's close to another 49er 1st down.
Composure. Wonderful composure by Montana.
3 of these offensive linemen for the 49ers are going to the Pro Bowl. Quillen, Cross, and Fonhorst. And they are giving Montana all the time he would ever need. Montana has broken his own record set in Super Bowl 16 for completions for the 1st half. 49ers have a 16th 1st down already. They are dominating here in the 2nd quarter. This is Derek Harmon, the rookie from Cornell. Strong running, gets him close to the 5-yard line. Doug Betters was there defensively, but it is yet another 49er 1st down. They found something in this youngster. They got him in the 9th round out of Cornell. He broke all kinds of records up at Cornell, trailed only Ed Marinaro in rushing yardage. But to get him in the 9th round, we watched him develop over the season. We had the 49ers early in the year against Joe Theismann's Washington Redskins, and this youngster has really developed into flag football. Derek Harmon, and he has just given the 49ers another 1st down goal to go. Tyler to the 3-yard line.
That's good, hard running that time.
Wendell Tyler. Not all that big, 5'10", 200-pounder, but when you get up close to him and watch him, he is certainly heavily muscled, and that does not, however, keep him from the quick moves. He's just a great runner. He really is.
See a late defensive change coming in for the Dolphins. Possibly trying to confuse 49ers.
Clock moving at 2:10. 49ers have 2 timeouts. Miami 3. Roger Craig inside and just pulls his way into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Could be trouble right here in River City.
Roger Craig taking it in with good, strong running. And we talk so much about Miami's offensive line and the 49ers offensive line now doing a complete number on the Miami defense. They're protecting Montana. They're opening holes at the line for the running backs. We look at it from the ground level.
You see the offensive surge. They just really push the Dolphin people back. There's the safeties coming up to support, and now Craig just with leg drive takes it into the end zone for 6.
That was a super block by Wendell Tyler.
It really was, Frank.
Wersching splits the uprights. Things are getting sticky for Miami here in Super Bowl 19. But again, they still have the #1 offensive team over the season in the NFL. They can score so quickly with the 2 Dupers, but so far they have really been slowed here in the 2nd quarter.
Nice going, Roger.
Miami now with 3 timeouts as we look at Roger Craig.
Our colleague.
We all like as we watched him develop over the past couple of years.
Our colleague O.J. did his homework for this ball game, it looks like so far. He had Roger Craig being one of the standouts. He certainly has been the 1st half.
Joe, what's going on in the mind of a young quarterback? He has never been in this situation this year.
Joe's not a
perhaps
young
in his
quarterback.
career.
Well, I was once, long time ago, and I almost remember what that was like. But the most important thing now, I'm sure, is he can't take it all on himself. He got here with great receivers and with a lot of help from his teammates. The things that he has to do now is just relax, Dan, let things happen. There's plenty of football left. You got 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in this half. Get a good drive and get yourself feeling comfortable again. The most important thing is to get the rhythm back.
Deep is Fulton Walker for Miami. At the 4-yard line. Flag is down as Walker gets to the 25-yard line. San Francisco already has become the first team in Super Bowl history to score 3 touchdowns in a quarter. You see the indication, holding. It'll work against Miami. He's still with an outward appearance of being calm and cool is Dan Marino.
One thing I'd like to point out, Frank, is San Francisco has been notorious this year. I'll tell you in a second.
Here's Pat Haggerty.
Holding, number 52.
Sanders Shiver. Continue, Joe.
They've been a football team that has really got out to fast starts and settled back into football games. That should give the Miami Dolphins at least an opportunity to feel that they do have something going.
The 2-minute warning has been announced to both benches. It is a very smiling San Francisco 49er bench. Would not be surprised to see them with the hurry-up offense once again. Underneath, Nathan. And Nathan, short of the first down, out near the 24-yard line in the arms of Tom Holmoe, as the 49ers, anticipating the no-huddle offense, have their 6 setbacks, defensive backs in the game. 1 second and 1. Marino, complete, gets it to Joe Rose, the tight end. He'll have the first down over the 30 near the 32. Time remaining in the first half, as Miami still continues to hoard those timeouts, as well they should. Shotgun again. Marino underneath again. And this is Nat Moore. And Nat Moore to the 40-yard line.
Now called timeout.
You bet. There you go. Marino uses one of the 3 timeouts. Nat Moore got about 8 out of that to bring up 2nd down and 2 as Dan Marino moves over to visit with his head coach, Don Shula. Right now, let's join Tom Landry once again.
You know, Jeff, this is one of the things that are real difficult coaching. When you fall behind like this, what do? You're right before the halftime, and what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have to bring your team in there, and you're going to have to tell them to stay on their game plan, keep their confidence up, and everything's going to work out the second half.
You might tell them that, but I wonder if they're going to believe that. Things have really gone for the 49ers here in the second quarter. Don't forget, tonight is the night for the premiere of a very special new ABC series, Magruder and Loud. So don't miss it. Tonight as our Super Bowl day coverage goes right through the evening. So be with us tonight, Magruder and Loud. One losing season. This, of course, is his 6th Super Bowl team that he has brought to the big game. He did it once with Baltimore, and he has now done it 5 times with Miami.
Dan's got himself in a working position now. He'll be able to move the football in. The thing they at least want to get out of this drive is 3 points. They've got to get some points in this drive just to keep their morale and momentum up.
2nd down and 2. Miami with 2 timeouts. 1:05. We'll keep the clock in for you. From the shotgun. Stevenson in front of Marino for protection. And out of bounds. Incomplete. Mark Clayton tried to dance along the sidelines, but he could not keep both feet in.
Isn't that an unusual move for, look at the sideline camera. Goes up to catch the ball, has to have them both in when he comes down. Couldn't quite handle it. Nice call.
Shula would say he can verticalize 39 inches.
That's right.
But you got to come down in bounds.
Great camera work.
That's an unusual offensive set for Miami to roll Marino out like that. Of course, he brought a good guy with him. He had Stevenson with him.
Will cover from the end zone. Keep in mind, this is also has to be considered a first down because it is 3rd and 2. But that's the way Miami thinks. Nathan. And Nathan spots the first down marker, steps out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, killing the clock with 54 seconds remaining in the first half. Keena Turner is out there defensively for the 49ers.
I think Keena would like to have another shot at that one, Frank. He kind of slid through his arms, and I believe he would have had him for certainly behind the first down marker.
Keena Turner, one of the fine outside linebackers who has great capabilities for covering.
Wouldn't be surprised
out of the backfield.
I wouldn't be surprised if Marino tries to work inside a little bit. He's got 2 timeouts and quite a bit of time left. Now he's going to roll to the left.
First down, Dan Marino under pressure. Fires a shot. Yes, they say it's complete. It was Mark Clayton. This time he gets the feet down in bounds. He'll have a first down for Miami inside the 45 near the 42. He got the pressure. Pressure coming from Jeff Fuller, the rookie safety. And that's just great concentration.
It's also a good call. You got to remember how quickly that referee had to make that call, and he made it right on the spot, and there it was.
There, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 right. There you can see Marino moving out of the pocket. A little bit unusual for Dan to be able to move around as much.
15-yard pickup. The first down is marked at the 42-yard line. 48 seconds remaining in the half. Shotgun once again, and we'll cover it from the end zone. Marino, this time throwing low to Duper, who again was open. It'll bring up second down and 10.
Joe, do you see anything different in Dan's delivery? Does he look like he might be hesitating a little bit?
He was. I think when you're young, as young as he is and has the arm that he has, sometimes you see the receiver and then you let the ball go. He's pretty much done it all year. But in this kind of a football game, the working mechanism of the delivery doesn't necessarily come exactly the way you want it to.
And working against a secondary that is made up of entirely a Pro Bowl bound unit. They react so quickly. Second and 10. Shotgun. Marino. Oh, what a catch. Joe Rose, who played a couple of big games here. They call it that out here when he played for California against Stanford. And he gets a Miami first down at the 12-yard line. And a timeout is called by Dan Marino. 30-yard pickup, and that was a great shot by Dan Marino. Rose was not that poorly covered. Watch the quarterback as we put him up in the corner of the right. And here is Joe Rose, the best of the tight end receivers for Miami.
And Keena Turner, the best of the cover linebackers, is right with him. There, Marino puts the ball the only place you can, a little bit behind Turner. Williamson coming in to make the hit. Hicks, everybody's around him. He just comes down with the football.
There's a lot of red jerseys. There really were. And that's what Marino has been knocked a little bit for. He says he always throws. It looks like he's throwing into coverage. Whether he did that time or not, I'm not sure.
9 out of 10 times, it seems like his guys are coming down, so why not?
That's right.
That was a brilliant read because he was able to go to Joe Rose even though he was covered by Keena Turner. And he put it right on the money. Very important touchdown, I would have to say, right here. The Dolphins trailing 28-10, 33 seconds remaining. Miami has 1 timeout. That remains in the first half. They marked it at the 12-yard line. Marino has talked it over with Don Shula.
They've been the best of any team in the football this year, scoring touchdowns when they get inside the 20. So that's where they are now.
Mark Duper goes up to the right. It is Mark Clayton to the left. The 4 wide receivers are in for Miami. And that time Marino had to hurry as the safety blitz for the 49ers was on. Dwight Hicks right in Marino's face.
They had a couple of them coming. You had Jeff Fuller who'd come in there also. Frank, they just threw it at him. And once again, you didn't see him sack, but he got hit.
Hey, there just are not enough men to pick them all up when they come on a safety blitz when you have 4 wide receivers. You just have to count on getting the ball to one of them before you are hit. That time, Marino just had to throw it away. Time remaining in the first half. 10th play in this drive. All 9 have been passes. Marino under pressure again. Tony Nathan. And Tony Nathan is hammered by Keena Turner. Right about at the line of scrimmage.
Niners did a good job of faking a blitz that time.
They've got Dan thinking a little bit right now. He got hit the last time out, and that's one thing about it. Once you get the ball off and you do get hit, here you'll see him. He starts to look downfield. Now he makes a late adjustment, says, hold, over here. Does a nice job coming off, but it's still just a little bit late.
Don't say that blaming him. That was Fred Dean, 74, that was looking him right eyeball to eyeball.
Make you change your mind.
Yeah.
We talk so much about the San Francisco and Miami offenses, but the 49er defense has reacted rather well. No timeouts now remain for the Miami Dolphins. There are 20 seconds on the clock, and one has to speculate that if you are unable to make the first down or get the touchdown, what do? Do you think in terms of 3 points, Joe?
You have to. I think you have to think in terms of scoring some points. You finally got your momentum back. You've got your offense back in a position where they're moving the football, something they've had trouble doing in the second quarter. And with 20 seconds to go, you don't want to come away empty. That way you leave yourself 18 points down. You may not say the difference between 18 and 15 is much, but it is when you score at the end of the half.
And perhaps even more important is the fact that they've been able to move the ball. They really struggled through much of the second quarter. And Marino with a final word of advisement from head coach Don Shula, stepping back into the huddle once again. Third down and about 12, and we are going to watch it once again from the end zone. And when you cover Miami, you realize this is not a bad place from which to watch it, because they do spread that field out.
What you can see, of course, you can see those patterns that the receivers are trying to run.
Clayton is left, Cooper is right.
Yeah.
Shotgun, looking for Clayton. And it was Ronnie Lott in the face of Mark Clayton. Incomplete, and the field goal unit without hesitation is sent on to the field by Don Shula.
I would assume that his strategy was, we've done it so many times this year, let's just put him one-on-one. Ronnie Lott maybe the weakest of the man-to-man coverage, but he didn't hesitate, did he?
I don't necessarily think it was just Ronnie Lott's ability to cover the pass. Clayton has caught pass after pass after pass like that for touchdowns. He just tried it again.
Keep in mind, Don Strock is the holder. This will be a 31-yard attempt. Don Strock, of course, the backup quarterback to Dan Marino. Von Schaman gets it through the uprights. He has a 37-yard field goal. He now has a 31-yard field goal. And for Von Schaman, as always, from the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at it once again.
I just saw him not hesitate at all. He just sets up, turns, and tries to throw the little alley-oop to his 5'9" receiver. Ronnie Lott's got good position on him, Joe.
Don't forget he plays bigger than 5'9", though, Dan. And really, what Dan, he was going to go out there right from the beginning. You could see that Lott had him single covered. They doubled the inside receivers. He just felt like what he'd do is put it up and let Clayton out jump him.
And of course, if you were thinking in terms of face guarding, unless they're waving those arms in front of the receiver, it is not face guarding. Just a good defensive play by Ronnie Lott. When you're down close to the goal line, you have got to play them very tight, and he was right there.
What was Shula's? That was, he verticalized again. He verticalized about 2 feet that time.
28-13 with 12 seconds remaining in the half. Deep are Derek Harmon, 24, Carl Monroe, number 32, and Von Schaman will kick off. Von Schaman, 2 for 2 after a 9 for 19 season.
I would say it's not enough time or timeouts left to try to onside kick the thing. Just maybe squib it down. Don't want to run back.
Well, an onside kick would give the 49ers too good a field position to take a shot. He'll just kick it low and let it run.
Along the ground. Keeping it low. Well, you can get up and run, McIntyre. There you go. Guy McIntyre. Hey, the ball is guard loose. That would be one of your great gaps. 4 seconds remain. The Dolphins will have an opportunity with 4 seconds remaining as Jim Jensen covered the fumble. It was Guy McIntyre, who works in the backfield on occasion, the rookie from Georgia.
He blocked.
Blocking back, but he is not a ball carrier.
Everybody's saying, get up, come on, you can run, get up, look out, right on the ball.
Well, once again, in a matter of seconds, we're going to see Von Schaman.
And that's Jensen that came in there. That guy's everywhere. He's the backup quarterback, Jim Jensen.
Joe Carter making the hit, forcing the ball away.
Another 30-yard attempt.
That's a nice 3 points they just gave him back, didn't they, guys?
And Von Schaman is now 3 for 3.
That is good.
Sama hits his third field goal of the game.
Yeah,
cuts the margin to 28-16 as the gun sounds for halftime. We'll be getting underway momentarily. The score once again, the 49ers over the Dolphins, 28-16. I'd like to report from ABC News that the inauguration ceremony scheduled for tomorrow, because of weather in the nation's capital, have been moved inside to the Capitol Rotunda, and the parade that goes with the inauguration has been canceled. And a reminder too, our coverage will begin at 11 o'clock Eastern Time with Peter Jennings and David Brinkley. And I think almost as important as the football game sometimes are the ceremonies that take place here at halftime. And that will be coming up in a moment.
Who caught only 11 all season, gave the Niners their first advantage.
Well, it's a good play by Monroe. He catches the ball. He's being covered by Lyle Blackwood, and he was able to beat him and wrestle his way into the end zone.
Then Miami retook the lead, but it was Montana again, this time finding Roger Craig, the 49ers' leading receiver this season.
Well, Craig sort of loose behind, out of the backfield. He gets sort of a moving pick from Russ Francis. Does a good job of running with the ball after he catches it.
That made the score 14-10. Then the defense held again, and now vintage Montana to make the score 21-10 right here.
He had called an audible. He looked for Dwight Clark. Dwight didn't look back towards him. So, as we said, it's his ability to improvise that stands him apart from other quarterbacks, and he's done a super job of doing that today.
Put the Niners on top by 11. Controversy, first half. Take a look at this play here. Was it a fumble?
Well, anybody who watches it will see that it was a fumble, and the score was 21-10 at the time. Miami would have had the ball and would have had an excellent opportunity to get back in this football game.
Not ruled a fumble, and then Craig was able to go in and score a touchdown. Roger Craig out of Nebraska, complimenting Wendell Tyler, and thus as they get set for what will be a spectacular halftime show, as always, at the Super Bowl. Our halftime score from Sanford Stadium is the 49ers 28 and the Dolphins 16.
In a halftime spectacular, rekindles those dreams inside all of us as we journey into the past and the future in the world of children's dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Air Force Tops in Blue is proud to present a Super Bowl 19 Dream Spectacular. Dreams for children of all ages in the land of make-believe.
Pirate. Johnny wants to fly a plane. Jimmy wants to be a circus star. A movie star's the goal of Jane. Everybody's got their fantasy. That's everybody, you and me. If you've got a dream, you can set it free. Come on along with us and say, riders to the stars. We are flying, we are falling, and I can see the clouds rolling by.
Spotlights and movie premieres in the dream world of entertainment.
Everybody step aside, make way for me, give me room. I think it's pretty clear, got all in my head. Buy your tickets, take your seat, set a flag and plan to stay. Hear the music, see the lights, find me on my way. As I'm number one, top of the charts.
And walking the plank, where our search for buried treasure never ends. The dream of conquering the high seas with cannon that roar to victory. with excitement and filled with the laughter of clowns. Frontier, a dream world of reality. Through pride and determination, the American flag flies higher than ever before. And world records, the peak of athletic achievement, the goal of being better than the best.
When you got what it takes, you got nothing to hide. You got miles of feelings and acres of pride. You got it. You really got it. When you know who you are and you live what you feel. You feel what you're doing is good when you really got it. And when you got it, let it out, let it shine, let it know inside you got it. Let it shine like a bright tomorrow. What a difference it makes when you got what it takes. What a difference it makes when you got it. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world, of the world, of the
Dreams express the hopes and goals of all people. Dreams are only possible in a land where people are free to make those dreams come true. Without freedom, dreams can never be realized.
What difference if I hear from north or south, or from the east or west? My heart is filled with love for all of these. I only know I swell with pride, and deep within my breast I thrill to see your glory paint the breeze. This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge thee my allegiance, America.
the foundation on which America has been built. Everyone has the opportunity to realize their dreams, but only if you are willing to succeed, willing to work for them, and willing to believe in yourself.
If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's click your heels 3 times if you believe, then you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic that's inside your heart. Believe all these things, not because we told you to, but believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, maybe you can believe in me.
Tom Landry, and Tom, the Dolphins have problems, down 12 points. Let's take a look at 3 of the plays which are among the reasons why they're still in the game to the extent that they are.
Well, I think it's a very important move that Shula made here. He started a quick line-up play, and you see him hitting a play out to Johnson right here that carried him all the way down the 1-yard line. This was the end of a 70-yard drive, which they never huddled on. And I think this really got the momentum back for him. Here he is rolling out here and hitting on a play-action pass to Johnson again for the touchdown. Now they got themselves back in the game in the first quarter. Now the second quarter, they got out of the game again because 49ers did a great job. But right before the half, of course, they're going to do a great job of getting the 6 points on the board with 2 field goals. And here's a kickoff that was a fumble, a play you never expect to get in the game, but they got it. And they got it, and they were able to kick the field goal. And now when they went into the halftime, they've got a brand new game.
Dan Marino didn't appear to have his real good rhythm in the second quarter, and he actually threw best in that sequence when they went without a huddle. Can he come back and do that again?
Well, I don't think they'll surprise them this time, Jim, if they do. You know, I think it won't surprise them at all.
Okay, we'll be back. More in the second half of this football game after these minutes.
Well, I agree that possibly, you know, you look at the first half, that what appeared to be a fumble, and yet was called an incomplete pass, certainly could have been a swing in the other way because San Francisco did go ahead and score a touchdown. And, of course, the fumble right before the half, which, you know, they get those offensive linemen back there to block for you. You forget to tell them you're not supposed to run with the ball. But Miami could have gone in 15 points down instead of 12 points. So now we're talking about 2 touchdowns. They're back in the ballgame.
It really makes a big difference for them. They've got the momentum back. They scored right at the end of the half. They took a nice 2-minute drill down, got 3 points. Then all of a sudden they get a break. You've got the offensive lineman handling the ball. Ideally, when you kick the football on the ground like that, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to have somebody who hasn't handled it before. Maybe he'll put it on the ground for you, and bang, you wind up. They really wind up with 1 point less if they scored a touchdown.
Yeah. Joe, I know when we did your game with the 49ers early in the season, you guys dropped behind early in the ball game and yet came back and made it a heck of a ball game. What did you guys try to do, or what have you seen in this first half that you might try to do? Say you're trying to play San Francisco and beat Dan Marino and catch up.
I think what Dan Marino's going to have to do is what they started out in this football game doing. That's throw the football. Come out, possibly don't go to a huddle. Make the 49er defense try and catch up with him. They're a fast strike, fast move offense. What happens is you want the defense to play your game. I think they're going to have to put the football. I think Dan has not played well this first half. I think he can play a lot better.
Well, you know, and looking at Joe Montana, too, I think Joe's had a really good first half, and I'm not terribly surprised by anything they've done, but I've seen him make just some individual plays, some reaction plays that really, you know, could have been a loss. He's pulled out a game, picked up a first down here, first down there.
Games like this boil down to individual great efforts, whether it's the great defensive play like we saw Hicks make, maybe it's the Carter knocking the ball loose with a fumble recovery by Jensen, or just the great individual efforts as Joe Montana has shown the whole half. I look for Dan Marino to come back out, feel a lot more comfortable, and say, thank goodness the first half's over. Now I can get back into it.
Well, I also think, as we see Dan Marino there on the sideline, I don't know what the heck they've told him, except, hey, Dennis, get some more points on the board. He certainly wants you to see his stats as 17 out of 27, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. I know you and I talked earlier. We thought that possibly that the 49ers might have put a little bit more pressure on him and maybe picked off 1 or 2.
Well, what they've done is they've bounced him around a little bit, and that tends a quarterback to start looking over his shoulder. I think they've forced him just a little bit out of his rhythm. He likes to sit back in the pocket. He will take a little bit longer than normal, but it's not quite the same when you're in this kind of a football game. I can't believe that a guy 23 years old in 4 months can't feel the pressure in this kind of a game.
All right. Well, you know what I'd kind of like to know is I was in the locker room with this guy a little bit. What do you think, Coach Landry, that Shula was telling these guys in that locker room at halftime?
Okay. Of course, you never saw more of a psychological swing in 30 seconds than you saw at the end of the half. Both Walsh and Shula had to reprogram what they were going to say, but Shula had to have a lift. He had to go in there and say, man, we're back in the ball game. All we have to do is get back on our game plan, play the way you played all year, and we'll be back into this game again.
Coach, do you think that he would possibly try to change anything? I mean, he came in with his game plan, of course. Do you usually change something at halftime or just say, hey, let's do what we were supposed to do a little bit better?
Well, I don't think he's going to change a lot. The thing that's hurting them a little bit right now is they're not running the ball at all. And actually, the 49ers are playing them a 4-man rush. Their third down defense all the time. And they're just going to have to throw the ball. Don, they're going to have to beat it.
You know, we've made a couple of comments, and you would certainly know better than I. Maybe, do you think that the 49ers are changing up? It looks to me that maybe they've got Johnson and Fred Dean spread a little bit wider than ordinarily they would be. Does that have an effect, you think?
Yeah, I think when you talked about it earlier, and I think we all anticipated that that's what they were going to do. And after the first quarter, they've left their 3-man line completely. They've come in now with Dean, they've come in with Gary Johnson, they've come in with Carter, and they come in with Brawl. They're 4 best pass rushers, and they're going to play them that way until they run the football against them.
Coach Landry, do you feel like you're going to say something to Dan Marino if you're Don Shula at the halftime and say, look, Dan, just settle down, let your teammates work for you. You don't have to win this football game for us. We can do it ourselves.
Oh, I think that's true, Joe. You're a quarterback, and you know exactly what needs to be said in that situation. Dan Marino is facing, probably for the first time, some unsuccess. And that's new to him. But I think he's capable to come back and put him back in the game again.
It's going to be a whole new ball game, I think. So let's go to... Oh, Frank, let's get this thing kicked off, Frank.
Now, who better to bring the Dolphins back than this man, Dan Marino? He passed for over 5,000 yards on the season, set 4 NFL records, most touchdown passes, most 300-yard games with 9, most 400-yard games with 4. And out on the outside, still to be heard from in a major way, are Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. They are the only pair of receivers ever to gain over 1,300 yards for a team in the history of the NFL. And if there ever is a team that you know can come back, it is a team as explosive as the Miami Dolphins. We're set to go the second half. Again, the 49ers leading 28-16. Bolton Walker awaiting the kick of Ray Worthing. Walker from the 7-yard line. And Bolton Walker out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. I don't think we'll see any dramatic changes, even with the score being what it is, because the Miami offense is a comeback offense. They opened the game that way. So out comes Dan Marino. But credit great defensive play on the part of the 49ers in the first half. So we'll see what has transpired in the locker rooms as the Miami Dolphins are set for their first possession. The 2 setbacks. Tony Nathan, 22. Woody Bennett, number 34. Mark Clayton, of course, 83. Mark Duper, 85. And the tight end, Bruce Hardy. First down and 10. Nathan, single setback. Nathan, sweep left, and good coverage. Coming from the offside, Dwayne Board. There will be a loss of about a yard on the play. Make it a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 12. And Dwayne Board really is the heart of that defensive line. He has played so well over the years. The leading pass rusher for the 49ers. Look at this pursuit.
Well, they have
move him
such
all
great
over.
team speed. What he does is the entire defense turns it back into that backside pursuit. Board makes the hit. Really, he hit him from behind, didn't even try and tackle him. They just ran him back into him.
2nd and long yardage. Marino back looking. Man is open, and he underthrows. Incomplete, intended for Mark Clayton. And Dan Marino has been underthrowing throughout the game. And throwing behind, he's throwing behind the brakes, throwing late. 3rd and 11 now for Dan Marino.
Yeah, that was a 2nd down play that we just saw, and San Francisco had their 5th defensive back in there. I think I've watched them in the first half, Joe. They've changed it up a little bit both ways. It looks like they've got the extra backs in there right now, too, expecting that pass.
A concerned look by Don Shula. 3rd down long situation. The Dolphins from the shotgun.
They got 6 backs in there now. 1 linebacker. That's new. That's new.
Dwayne Board from around the horn, and the sack is made at the 15-yard line. And again, Marino actually had time to get that ball off, but good coverage downfield by the secondary of the 49ers.
That was a 6-back offense with 1 linebacker. The linebacker's Keena Turner, but you'll see Board, that's what he's been doing. He's the guy that Frank mentioned. He's going to be back in there close to that quarterback.
And out comes Reggie Roby on 4th down, who has not kicked well today at all. He has been short. He has been unable to get the ball to turn over. He is not getting the height that we are accustomed to watching from him. So the 49ers are in good shape to have fine field position once again, as Dana McLemore is at his own 38-yard line. And again, it doesn't turn over, and McLemore will take it near the 40.
Look at that quick.
Good running. McLemore over the 45 to the 47-yard line. That was a 46-yard effort with a 7-yard return. Vince Heflin was down there quickly for the Dolphins. But nevertheless, the 49ers have good field position. Because it could play an important role in this game. I might point out something else. In Super Bowl competition, no team that has ever fallen behind by more than 7 points has ever come back to win it. Here we go. 1st down and 10, the 49ers. They lead 28-16. We're in the early going of the 3rd quarter. The Niners at their own 47-yard line. Montana comes out firing, throws that one away. He was about to be sacked. Kills it with the incompletion. Charles Bowser was there. Let's take a look at the stats from the 1st quarter first. And you can see San Francisco had already started to dominate there in yardage and time of possession. And then we'll switch them over to halftime for you. And it became a 49er 2nd quarter.
You look at that 2nd quarter with the 9 yards rushing for Miami and gave them a big job.
2nd down and 10. 49ers from their 47. Both backs into the pattern.
Throw it. Go, throw it.
Montana, Wendell Tyler, and he'll have a 1st down inside the 40-yard line of Miami near the 38. Oh, Glenn Blackwood on the stop. 14-yard pickup.
That's the big difference so far. I think he has made those plays when he has.
As you can see, it's not a design drop back at all. He just forces the defense to do things. Here you see him. He gets outside, puts the ball up. Wendell Tyler camps right in a good spot, makes the defense come up and play him, turns around, and you've got yourself another 1st down. San Francisco is just taking control of the football, and they're not going to give it up.
Montana, hot hand, 14 of 19, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's rushed for 48 yards and the touchdown. On 1st and 10, a reverse. Earl Cooper. And Cooper hammers his way into the 35-yard line. Gain of about 3. Good reaction on the part of the Miami defense.
Coop. Hear that in the back. One thing Miami's defense does is they have great pursuit. Those bees get all over the football field. Here you'll see the play action is Bowers is going to move to the right. He sees it. Now he's getting back for the reverse. Now you're doing a great. Russ Francis doing a great job of trying to run him outside. He fights off the block, comes back inside. Miami has been susceptible to reverses throughout the course of the season.
34-yard line, 2nd down and 6. The 49ers prowling once again. Craig in motion. Tyler will try it inside. Bounces off one tackle. Tyler, great running, stays on his feet for the 1st down near the 27-yard line.
Rather innovative little motion play there, sending him out most defenses would possibly suspect a pass, but he came back with a little counter move to Wendell that time.
Hate to think about it. Wendell Tyler, of course, has had problems throughout his career with the fumbles, 13 times this season. Nevertheless, he moved through the playoffs against the Giants without, and the Chicago Bears without a bobble, and he gets the first down for the Niners. Gary Carmen, the rookie from Cornell, replaces Wendell Tyler for the moment. Both backs into the pattern. Montana again with a lot of time, but good coverage by the Dolphin defenders. That pass intended for Mike Wilson, and good coverage by Don McNeil, the cornerback.
Well, I think you could see Montana's little move there was he was trying to say, hey, no, turn and go back out a little bit quicker there to that outside. He was not terribly pleased with the pass pattern that was run.
There's the brain trust on the sidelines. Dan Marino, and that, of course, is Don Strock, the veteran quarterback who's been such a help in the development of young Dan Marino. Talks to him constantly on the sidelines. Second down and 10, the 49ers.
Safety blitz. He picked it up. Here goes Joe. Here goes Joe.
Running again, looking for a first down. He'll have it. He steps out at the 16-yard line on a 12-yard pickup. Joe Montana is having a day a football player dreams of.
Not only is it a good thing for them to pick up the first down, but I think another thing is how frustrating this must be for Miami's defense when, hey, they rush and he's not there, and when he gets away, he can still pick up his first down.
Joe's an exceptional runner. There you see he gets flushed out of the pocket. This is not a design play, not a design run, and he has tremendous presence. Steps in and steps out. He's got himself another first down.
And Joe Montana has broken the Super Bowl record for quarterbacks rushing. He has 60 yards. He broke Roger Staubach's record. First down and 10. Tyler bounces to the outside, and that's the strength I was talking about of Wendell Tyler as he hammers into Lyle Blackwood, who nevertheless drops him after a pickup of a yard.
Lyle hit Wendell high also, but he had a little better luck with Wendell than he did with Russ Francis in the first half.
I would say you're giving away a few pounds. Might have a little more luck.
That's right.
It'll bring up second down and 9. Carl Monroe comes in, number 32 now. Second-year man out of Utah, the little return man of 5'8" and 166 pounds. He joins Roger Craig as setbacks.
First 5 minutes of a half are so critical coming back into the ball game.
Solomon splits out left. That's Dwight Clark in the end position. Again, both backs in the pattern. Montana finds Dwight Clark. He comes down with a great concentration, short of the first down, but he's near the 10-yard line. It'll be third down and 4.
From this angle, it looked like he just dropped it right in the bucket, didn't he? Charlie Bowser had pretty good coverage on it.
If there's one pass, I think that is the mark of a truly great quarterback, and this is it right here. You're going to see the coverage that Bowser has. Montana dropping back. He's working this side all the way. He sets up, gets a great little loft on the ball, and look at that thing land right in there.
That's great.
Man's got a touch.
Could not have been more perfectly thrown. Nevertheless, short of the first down. It'll be third down and 4. Solomon goes left. Dwight Clark split wide to the right. One-on-one coverage with Clark and McNeil. Montana tries to get it to Russ Francis. He was well covered, and it will bring up fourth down, and out will come Ray Wersching. They bring out the field goal team. Wersching led the NFL with 131 points, had a good season, 25 of 35. And he is 3 of 5 in postseason play. We have 10:15 remaining in the third quarter. Fog has settled back in, but temporary lights have been put up around this rather ancient stadium. They're on cherry pickers outside peering in. Montana gets it down, 27-yard attempt. And Wersching is good.
That's going to make McIntyre feel a lot better after his attempted return of the kickoff, which resulted in a last-second field goal for the Dolphins before the half.
First points of the second half on the board. They now lead 31-16, and Bolton Walker is back at the 3-yard line, awaiting the kickoff of Ray Wersching. Ray Wersching has 5 field goals in Super Bowl play. That is a Super Bowl record. Of course, he had 4 for 4 in Super Bowl 16. This is Eddie Hill. And Eddie Hill hit at the 30, sprawls over the 32 to 31, where it'll be first down Miami. Again, a reminder, ABC's Super Sunday will continue right through the evening with the premiere of a special news series. Be sure and see it, Magruder and Loud, right after our Super Bowl coverage. And out comes Dan Marino.
You don't want to belabor a point, but Dan has got to take control of this thing now. He's 15 points down, and he's just got to settle down and put a good drive together. This is a similar situation to where he was before the half. You've got to get some points on the board.
Been listening to what you say about him not trying to do it all by himself.
That's the most
important. Why not? Who better at this point?
Yeah.
He can do it. It ain't bragging.
First and 10, Miami. And Clayton short of the first down, or rather Tony Nathan out of the backfield gets to the 39-yard line. He'll get 8 out of that. It'll be second down and 2. And again, as we watched in the first half, there will be no huddle. Does two things. It gets you more plays in the game, and the defense can't change on you. Marino's in a crowd, and he'll go down. Manu Tuiasosopo, the nose tackle, who came to this team this past year to help shore up that defensive unit from the Seattle Seahawks. Former UCLA great. Let's watch him. He's working against a Pro Bowl bound Dwight Stevenson, number 57, and he beats him to the outside.
He gets a little help from the other side also, Frank. And that was Roy Foster. Almost kind of knocked him off of Stevenson. Way to go, Manu.
Even though he got the sack, Marino had time once again for completion. He just could not find a receiver. 4 down linemen for the 49ers. Marino in trouble again.
6.
He'll go down again. This time, Dwayne Board.
They may have found a nice combination with the 6 defensive backs and 1 linebacker. As we mentioned earlier, that again, Keena Turner is the linebacker that remains, and they turn those big 4 guys loose.
Tickets for the Super Bowl are distributed throughout the entire country, but here in the San Francisco area, we're hearing from a loud partisan 49er group of fans. Cleveland Green trying to do something with Board. He did not do enough, and the punting unit is on. There is Dana McLemore at the 22-yard line. Reggie Roby on to punt. Roby has not kicked to his regular season form. This one he has to dance over and pull out of the air. This time he puts one up. This is a Reggie Roby punt. McLemore takes it at the 25. And that's what happens when you put it high, get the distance, you get the coverage downfield. So the 49ers will have possession. They'll be in open field. Great running by Wendell Tyler.
Oh, that really was. He didn't break stride either. That ball was right there.
A 40-yard pickup on a little check-off pass over the middle.
Here he makes the play-action fake to Tyler. He looks down there. He's really trying to get the ball up the field, but he has such great time and ability to move inside. Tyler makes a great play. Now is when he starts to become very effective. Bounces off of Glenn Blackwood and continues down the field. Forces Lyle to make another tackle.
That's a nice little spin that he had there when he got around Brophy.
First and 10. Montana, 16 of 24, 226 yards.
Big Russ.
Russ Branson's wide open.
You bet.
For the 17-yard line, another 49er first down.
There was a little delay by Russ that time. Waited for it to clear out, the linebackers to make their move, and then he slips right on through into the middle. You see him in motion. Watch him stop right here for a minute as if he's going to block. Nobody comes. He says, okay, I see a big opening. And there it is.
This is the Bill Walsh offense, and nobody could be better at being a perfect extension of it than Joe Montana. They work so well together. First down, 17-yard line.
This is an audible.
And there's the blitz. And there he is open. Oh, he had 2 guys open.
Montana tries to get it to Roger Craig out of the backfield. The crowd booing what they thought was pass interference on the part of Brodzinski, but it was not.
Can't fault him one way or another. However, he did have a good crossing pattern, a little bit deeper that time, and it was Russ Francis once more who had gone across. I guess the thing on Bob is he's supposed to be a little bit stronger against the run, and you see him that time doing a heck of a job with his pass.
Well, he's strong with his right hand. He was strong against the run.
He was.
Keeping him back.
It's easy when you do it that way.
Yeah.
Second and 10.
That was good.
Dwight Clark split left. He's out there with Mike Wilson. Flags fly. Russ Francis shaking his head. We've had few penalties if you were not with us from the start of the game. Here's our referee, Pat Haggerty.
Start, number 81, off base.
Russ Francis just a little eager. What a great athlete, Russ Francis. 6 years up in New England. Great years they were, too. Retired in 1981. Came to the 49ers. 1982 for a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick. Good, strong blocker and a very reliable receiver.
All world for those 6 years.
Second down, 15. Montana, Wendell Tyler, and Tyler at the line of scrimmage, and that's it. As he is covered well there by Bob Brzezinski. That will bring up third down and 15. Or rather, third down and 10 as the ball is advanced to the original line of scrimmage.
The person is not well.
Wershing getting ready on the sideline.
We saw earlier Montana down here throw the ball away and take the field goal. When you've got a 31-16 lead, you want to be sure that you just don't turn it over and give the other team the opportunity to have a good field position and bring it back.
Underneath to Roger Craig at the center. Roger Craig coming from the right side, crossing the middle, all alone. Touchdown 49ers from 16 yards out on 3rd and 10.
Oh, you saw big Keith Barnhurst come in there. He's there he is,
Roger Craig. Ever to score 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl. And the 49ers offensive unit is hot, and their defense is playing well. Frustrating afternoon for the Dolphins and head coach John Shula. They seemingly can do anything they wish. Wershing bangs it through at 66-18 remaining in the third quarter. And now San Francisco opens up a 38-16 lead.
I can relate to this situation being this far behind. Down here in the, we call it the +20 area or close to the other team's goal, you'll see this is where Miami tries to play a lot of man-to-man defense. There goes Blackwood crossing with the back. Craig comes underneath. His linebacker got caught in the mesh and runs in untouched.
70 yards and 5 plays.
Roger Craig, Joe Montana, a great offensive line, doing a number on the Miami Dolphins. We'll be back. Next up, it was Montana to Wendell Tyler. Colton Walker, he's been back there a lot today. Settles in at the 2, and Ray Wershing kicks away. Low line drive. Bruce Hardy has it. He covers up the football and gets to the 33-yard line. Let's go to Tom Landry and take a look at that Montana to Wendell Tyler pass that covered 40 yards.
Okay, they have a great fake here. The thing that's killing Miami right now is they're not getting any pass rush on the play. And you see this fake coming in there. Montana, now you see Tyler coming in. The play is downfield. Here's Tyler right here. Because of no pass rush at all, he's able to beat his defensive linebacker and make the big play. See him fold in there. He gets around him. Montana has all the time in the world to pick him up, so there's no problem at all. He almost broke it all the way.
Wendell Tyler, he can run the football. He is also a fine receiver. There's an injured 49er on the field. And out comes the trainers and the medical staff of the 49ers.
Todd Shell, we're looking at.
Well, we will get a positive identification of the 49er that is injured. It's number 90, Todd Shell, whom they're working on. And we'll be returning to Stanford Stadium in Stanford, California in just a moment. Close. If there's a gain, it's less than a yard. Let's take a look at that scoring drive again. It started at the 30-yard line. The big black line, well, that's Wendell Tyler, a 40-yard pickup. Yellow, of course, is the penalty.
No runs.
And with that touchdown, the 49ers have tied the Super Bowl record for most points. That, of course, by the Raiders a year ago against the Washington Redskins.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about that, Joe.
That's okay.
Second down and 9 from the shotgun. Niners take the blitz. They come with it, and Dan Marino is able to get it to Joe Rose. He's short of the first down out to the 42-yard line. Jeff Fuller was on a safety blitz.
And you can see Marino trying to point to the referee, said, hey, he's hitting me late. He's hitting me late. There you go, is the graphic we were talking about. You didn't play defense, though, did you, Joe?
No, I did, but I gave up one in it that contributed a little bit, I can tell you that. I'm glad we're not only at the top in that particular category.
That was the Marino that we have watched all year. Under great pressure, he still was able to flick it and get the completion. Now he needs 2 for the first down. Fires and it's complete, and it goes to Mark Clayton. Clayton will have the first down inside the 43-yard line of the 49ers.
There he comes down. You'll see Clayton's just going to run about an 8-yard post pattern. Breaks inside. Carlton Williams moves on the outside. The ball is still being thrown low. He makes a nice catch all day. Dan's had a little bit of trouble getting the ball up all day, and it's running out of time.
You think Matt Moore ran the proper route that time? He was pretty close to Clayton.
First and 10, 43-yard line of the 49ers. Tony Nathan. Big opening for Nathan, and Nathan almost pops it. He's inside the 30 to the 27-yard line before he is taken down by Holmo. Another 49er miscue in the middle.
I've got to think when Miami looks up and sees the 6 defensive backs in there, they're saying we've got to run this ball some way. And I think that's true. They've got to get them out of that defense.
You saw 57, Dwight Stevenson with a fine block in the middle. On first down. Marino looking for Clayton. He was well covered by Eric Wright. It's incomplete.
Pass intended for Clayton, incomplete.
Certainly a little more frustration seemingly for Mr. Marino than we have seen earlier in the year.
Yeah, he has a tendency. People say he has a tendency to try and force the ball in on that particular play. He did try and force it. That's that little pattern they use where they run the outside people down about 5 yards into the quick post. They run the tight end or the halfback out into the flat. That time, he tried to make something happen. He's got to settle it down. But you're down 38-16. You may as well just wing it.
Don Shula puts in 4 wide receivers. Nat Moore, Jimmy Cephalo. They join Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. Spreading out across the field. Marino looking for 6. And it's picked off. Eric Wright, the one who made the Pro Bowl as an alternate. Ronnie Lott, who made it on the boat, said he is our best defensive back, and he made a great play against Mark Clayton.
It was a terrific play.
Eric Wright used the field. He stepped inside, read the eyes of Mark Clayton, looked back, there it was, and it has been a tough day. I think that picture said it all. Just throwing your hands up almost in despair.
See, Clayton tries to go up top. Wright gets a hand on him. He's actually trailing him a little bit. Clayton going to try and go back for the ball. That's just a great defensive play.
It really was. He looked into the eyes of Clayton in that man-to-man coverage. Read the ball was about there and comes down with it.
Could you say that that ball was a yard or 2 underthrown, or was it just a terrific defensive move, Joe?
I would have to say it was a terrific defensive move, and if the ball had been thrown a little bit further, he might not have intercepted it. Might have just knocked it down.
49ers first down at their own 1-yard line. They try to power it out with Wendell Tyler. He is Mark Brown. Mark Brown, who made the defensive unit of these Dolphins with his strength against the run. There is Eric Wright. Again, he made the Pro Bowl as an alternate when Mark Haynes of the New York Giants, injured late in the season, could not report. So he will be joining his teammates, Dwight Hicks, Carlton Williamson, and Ronnie Lott in the Pro Bowl a week from today, which we'll be bringing you right here on ABC. As will this man, Joe Montana. He will direct the NFC. Marino will direct the AFC. Second down and 9. Roger Craig. Roger Craig spots the first down marker, and he gets it. Again, a reminder, tomorrow, watch ABC News live coverage of the inauguration of President Ronald Reagan. Then join Peter Jennings, David Brinkley, and the people of ABC News for reaction from around the nation and the world. Inauguration 85 tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on ABC. And I've already told you, inclement weather in the nation's capital, they will move the ceremonies inside, and the parade has been canceled. But we will be there with coverage. Craig did not get the first down as they marked it short of the 11-yard line, so it's third down and short.
This is an area sometimes where the 49ers may try and a little bit of different kinds of plays, put the ball up deep, try and get something big, and
Like that.
voila.
Freddie Solomon on a third down and less than a yard. Play action. It held everyone. Solomon was open, beating Lyle Blackwood. First down, 49ers, and nothing they do doesn't work today.
It's obvious Bill Walsh is not going to just sit on a lead. He's going to continue to be the aggressor. Another play action fake to Wendell Tyler. Joe looks out to the flat first, and Freddie's coming across the middle. Good play.
No pressure on him that time. I saw Freddie Solomon come in late to the huddle, so it was a last-minute decision by Walsh to do that.
And a good one.
Brilliant game plan for Bill Walsh into today's game. Everything works. On first down, Roger Craig, draw play. And Craig up to the 30-yard line. He'll get 6. It'll be second down and 4. We're running out of time in the third quarter. 1:50 and the clock is moving. Certainly a well-played game. Few flags, few turnovers, and this man has absolutely been marvelous. Everything he has done has been to perfection.
One of the things they've remarked about Joe Montana is his ability to bring himself up to the occasion of the football game. There's no question he's playing as great as any quarterback has played in any Super Bowl in this particular one.
Mike Wilson, 85, wide receiver in the ball game. Roger Craig follows Wendell Tyler. Tyler with a block, and Craig powers out to the 40-yard line. Another 49er first down, and Lyle Blackwood and Glenn Blackwood are making most of the tackles, and that's not good when you're playing safety position.
And Lyle is saying right now it's not good because these guys are getting such a head start. They're running at me. He's still hitting him a little bit high, Joe.
I think so. I think you ought to drop it down just a little bit, just for his own sake. He's going to have to hit. No, come here, Lyle.
The Bruise brothers, as they're known, will be the Bruised brothers by the time this game is over. They have made so many tackles in that secondary. First and 10. The Niners at their 40-yard line.
This is another place where the 49ers like to take a shot.
Montana fires to Russ Francis. Or rather, Dwight Clark. Dwight Clark with a gain of 7 yards.
Don McNeil made the stop.
His own quiet way, Dwight will catch 5 or 6 before the game's over. I think that's his third reception. See there, third plus 2 is 5.
You're so accurate.
Yeah.
Time is running out in the third quarter, and the 49ers are going to let it run out. They lead 38-16. And the 49ers being saluted by a crowd of 85,000 here at Stanford Stadium. They have really put on a tremendous effort in the San Francisco area. Of course, the task force that brought Super Bowl 19 here, headed by Quentin Cup, but Mayor Dianne Feinstein, all of the people of San Francisco have got behind to put on a great effort. Second down and 4. Derek Harmon, a rookie from Cornell, struggling for that first down. Surges forward, he'll get it as he moves into Dolphin territory, and that is the 27th first down for the 49ers as they are working now on yet another record. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. The Super Bowl 19, 49ers took the lead at 7-3 with Montana with a 33-yard touchdown pass to Carl Monroe. Seesawed back and forth, and then in the second quarter, the 49ers took over, and they have dominated since then. On first and 10, Wendell Tyler loses his footing and falls at the line of scrimmage. Take a look at the stats from halftime. It was a big second quarter for the 49ers, and then we will fold that over through the third quarter for you.
The only turnover, Frank, was the fumble that we saw right before halftime. And the 49ers haven't slowed. Well, look at this, 444 yards.
There's a lot of yardage with nearly a full quarter remaining to be played, and Wendell Tyler, who slipped on that play, limps off the field. Derek Harmon, the rookie from Cornell, the 9th round draft pick, replaces Tyler in the lineup, and they try him immediately. He works to the 46-yard line for a gain of a couple in the arms of Mark Brown. Third down, long yardage now for Joe Montana. As they work on Wendell Tyler, we'll tell you the report on Todd Shell, that who left the field injured earlier, is that he has an injured ankle and probably will not be back.
Wendell Tyler looks like he's got himself a cramp. Sometimes that happens. The guys that are really fast get cramps because they have muscles.
It's getting cold, too.
Yep.
Third down and 8. Not a bad percentage. Deep drop by Montana.
Oh.
Tried to get it to Dwight Clark. There was a diving attempt at the interception by Kozlowski, but Montana kept it out of his reach. 4th down, and we'll see Max Runninger. We haven't seen him for a long time.
4th and 7.
There's Max Runninger. Spent a lot of years with the Philadelphia Eagles before coming here for the 49ers. This is only his 2nd punt, and that goes all the way back to the 1st quarter of the ball game. That's the kind of offensive show the 49ers have been putting on. Runninger hangs it high, looking for the coverage. And Walker dances out over the 20 to the 22-yard line before Earl Cooper makes the stop. And there is Todd Shell. They're working on that left ankle, the rookie from Brigham Young. We'll be back in Stanford.
Team in Super Bowl history to stop their opponent on 4 downs inside their own 5-yard line. They did it to the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 16, holding Pete Johnson to no gain on 4th down from the 1.
The stats for Dan Marino. Other stats. Mark Duper has 1 reception for the game. Mark Clayton has 5, but for only 65 yards. And they combined over the season for 144 receptions and over 2,600 yards. 1st down and 10 Miami. 12:45 remaining in the game. The Dolphins down 38-16. The ball just out over the 20-yard line. Marino. In deep trouble. Again, Gary Johnson in there just putting the hands on Marino.
Oh, they're going after him.
The 4-man line has been so effective for the 49ers. Records falling all over the place. Most yards, San Francisco, 459 yards, and we have over 12 minutes remaining. The loss is all the way back to the 8-yard line. 2nd down and 22, and this is the first time in the young career of Dan Marino that he has been sacked 4 times.
And it ain't over.
Clayton. And Mark Clayton will get the 1st down. Good effort out over the 35 to the 36 for a Miami 1st down.
It's a good decision by
27-yard
Miami.
pickup.
It's a good decision by Miami to move Marino out of the pocket. He has not had the success in the pocket. You would expect him to be a drop-back passer. So what he does, he drops back now. He's committed himself to half the football field, but he gets away from the big pass rush. He does have good mobility. Not great, but good. Clayton does a super job coming back for the ball and turns upfield, gets the 1st down.
No huddle offense once again on 1st down. Marino fires off a shot, getting it to Mark Duper, trying to. He was covered by Eric Wright very well, but there was pressure once again on Marino. Eric Wright, in his 4th year out of Missouri, had just a great year, as I mentioned, heading to the Pro Bowl as an alternate because of the injury to the Giants' Mark Haynes. But it was funny, when Ronnie Lott heard he was going to the Pro Bowl, he said, I'm going to give my spot to Eric Wright. He's been our best defensive back all year.
He said that you can't do that, though, Ronnie. And
appreciate it, though.
Yeah.
2nd down, the ball just inside the 36-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. And a worried Don Shula. From the shotgun. Marino fires. It's complete to Cefalo, and Cefalo will have another Dolphin 1st down up close to midfield. Jeff Fuller made the stop, a 13-yard pickup. Again, no huddle. This worked well for them early in the game. Now they have come back to it. Again, it does prohibit the defense from making changes. Marino, again, almost a spectacular catch by Nat Moore, but he can't hold on. It'll be 2nd and 10.
The only difference between him using that offense right now at this point in the ball game and earlier in the ball game, San Francisco was not equipped to put the 6 defensive backs in when they were in the quick huddle. Now that's all they're playing is 6 defensive backs, so it's really not as much a help to Miami as it would have been as it was early in the football game.
I really think the only linebacker we've seen in the 2nd half has been Keena Turner.
He's the only one that plays.
Yeah, so they said, hey, we've got a lead. You're going to beat us. You got to beat us with 6 guys back here.
And Keena Turner plays it like a defensive back. A slight linebacker, 6'2", 219. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, look out.
Pressure again. And Marino just flicks it out of bounds as he was under great pressure. Tremendous pressure on Marino. Tina Turner was coming. Also, Jim Stuckey, who is in now as one of the 4 down linemen.
Jeff Fuller came from the other side.
They put a little blitz in there. You can bring those backs up. They line up pretty close to the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden they change it up and they go. Very
Marino
nice.
has broken one record. Super Bowl pass attempts, 38. They came to throw. They have been throwing. Unfortunately, the 49er defense has just been superb today. 3rd down and 10. Marino under pressure again. Trying to get it to Mark Clayton. Overthrown, and Ronnie Lott was right there.
Really the key, because they're not sacking him. They're always right there in his face.
He's been sacked 4 times, but he's been hit many more times than that.
It just really throws off the rhythm of a quarterback to have to constantly move around the pocket just to make the throw. There you see he just can't quite set his feet the way he wants to. Of course, the picture speaks for itself what happens after.
Freddie Dean did a heck of a job of shaking loose Roy Foster over there at the line of scrimmage.
And out comes Reggie Roby. And this is Dana McLemore, who settles in at the 10-yard line. Reggie seemed to have been able to get back in stride at a 47-yard effort on his last attempt. High kick. McLemore, without hesitation, calls for and bobbles. The fair catch, and Miami has it.
All right.
Miami gets the football. Vince Heflin on the coverage was down there as McLemore bobbled the fair catch attempt.
It's really strange, Joe, as I've just looked a moment ago, there's more and more fog coming in. And I just thought, he kicked that one almost up to the top of the stadium.
Might have come down with a little ice on it.
It came on with a little ice on it.
There was no hesitation. He
seems
saw
to
that
misjudge
ball
it.
come off the foot, and he called for a fair catch. He bounced it off the knee, and Vince Heflin was there. And the Miami Dolphins get a break. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line of the 49ers. 10:52 remaining. The 49ers with a commanding 38-16 lead. Marino looks over the defense. Again, he sees 4 down linemen. Firing into the end zone.
He got him another one.
Carlton Williamson. Another Pro Bowl bound 49er defensive back. Marino just desperately trying to throw that into the end zone, and Williamson was right there.
He tried to force that one in. What happened was the receiver went all the way to the sideline, started to come back. Williamson read it and worked right back to where the football was.
I would think that somewhere about now you start giving Bill Walsh tremendous credit for the game plan. They're forcing Dan Marino to do something we haven't seen him do all year. And Don Shula has gone on record and said, hey, we're going to do what we did that got us here. So they made him change a little bit. So Bill Walsh has done a heck of a job.
They were there together at Pittsburgh. 49ers 1st down and 10. One might start to think about working on the clock. Comes a reverse to Solomon. Solomon spins back inside of Brzezinski and gets out close to the 25-yard line for a 5-yard pickup.
Most people would think that Bill Walsh now he's going to sit on a 15-point lead with 10 minutes to go. He's sort of deep in his own end. He doesn't want to make any mistakes, but he just has continued to stay with his game plan. He's got his plays listed on that folded up piece of paper under his arm, and he's just going to keep throwing them at the Miami defense, make them stop them.
Bill Walsh coached collegiately right here at Stanford for 2 years, in 77 and 78, before going to the 49ers. It's given him a great deal of pleasure what's transpiring today. 2nd down and 5. Netmore in motion. Solomon, and this is Roger Craig. Let's go quickly to Tom Landry.
Well, basically, the thing that's happening to us right now is that in the second half, San Francisco stay with their 4-man rush. They stay with their 3rd down defense. Miami has been unable to penetrate it. They haven't slowed down the rush either by running draws or screens, and therefore they just gained their confidence to the point where they've almost run Miami out of the game.
Perhaps an understatement, but certainly right on. The surprising 4-1 defense has been so effective against the Miami offense. On first down, Wendell Tyler. And Tyler out close to the 40-yard line, 6-yard pickup there before Kim Bokamper was able to make the stop.
See Wendell get up again. He went off earlier with cramps in both legs, and that appears that if you get one early, you're going to have another one more than likely.
And it keeps getting a little bit cooler and a little bit cooler.
That's right.
They are now looking at Roger Craig's right knee. What a day Roger Craig has had. 44 yards on 10 attempts and some very key pass receptions. Bill Ring is in number 30 for the 49ers at setback. But this is the rookie from Cornell, Harmon. And Derek Harmon gets yet another 49er first down as the seconds tick off the clock. 8:25, and it continued to move.
One statistic we've come up with is another indication of what's happening. Lyle Blackwood has had 11 tackles today, and he plays safety. So they're running the ball rather well.
It's the one thing that San Francisco felt like they had to do. Whether they were going to do it early and set the tempo in the football game or set it late to try and control it and keep the ball away from Marino, it didn't matter. They still were going to have to run the football at some point, and obviously now's the right time.
They have the second best offense to Miami in the NFL, but they are third in the league in rushing the football, so they run it well. Derek Harmon, line of scrimmage, and that's all. It'll be 2nd and 10. I want to remind you, Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's the Ironman Triathlon World Championship. See these courageous athletes. They swim, they bike, and they run over 140 miles in a single day in the premier event of its kind in the world, all beginning at 4:30 Eastern Pacific, 3:30 Central, Saturday, right here on ABC.
Courageous is just one attribute that you can attribute to the Ironman race. 140 yards.
I could think of another one.
140 miles. I mean.
Word on Roger Craig is that he too, like Wendell Tyler, has cramps in the legs, and he'll be back. 2nd and 10. Montana looks for the big one. Dwight Clark is there.
Caught that
spectacular
ball.
Catch by Dwight Clark. William
go.
Judson had great position on him. Dwight Clark went up for it, and at 6'4", he bobbled it, but made a falling catch.
Best pals, been roommates off and on since they've been here. Had a little, trying to get a little blitz as Mark Brown comes in there. The ball's just laid up. He says, D-White, go get it. Look at that concentration by Dwight Clark. Way to go, Dwight.
Roommates are supposed to do.
See it from the reverse angle. You get a little bit better look at it. As Frank mentioned, it's terrific coverage there by Judson.
Comes back, bounces off his nose twice.
And he's got it, hasn't he?
Cradles it right in.
The first down is inside the 22-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Play action by Montana. He hides it. He looks for 6. And Solomon was there and just off his fingertips. And Joe is saying, I finally missed one.
He did slip it a little bit too far. It looked like Freddie's maybe has muscle cramps also.
Interesting, if that's a muscle cramp, we've had so much of it today, and this field is in spectacular condition. It's Bermuda grass. It's cut to about 3/4 of an inch. And as Bill Walsh told us the other day, it's perhaps the finest football field, natural surface in the entire nation. That's what he thinks of it.
And that's what O.J. said. He's played on it. He likes to play there. Well, they've just been doing a lot of running tonight, and it is awfully chilly and damp out here.
I feel like the temperature change has a lot to do with it. They come out at the beginning of the ball game, they're real warm, their muscles are all loose. They come to the sideline, they sit a little bit, and then you work in and out of the football game, and you can't help but have your muscles constrict a little bit.
Stanford Stadium. This past summer, it was the site for the soccer preliminaries in the Olympic competition. They had tremendous crowds. For the 49ers, 2nd and 10. Montana fires one to Russ Francis. Francis will be close to the first down. I think he's about a half-yard short. Take a look at it from the field level.
You can see the fog's already kind of settled down into the field, but they're doing a little crisscrossing in there. Actually, Charles Bowser was even late getting on the field. And that was very close to being a little one bouncer, but I'm sure he held on to it.
3rd down and about a yard. Tony Nathan not smiling on the bench for the Miami Dolphins. 49ers have dominated midway in the first quarter. Roger Craig over the top. Another 49er first down. 5:40 and the clock continues to move.
His muscle cramps are gone.
McIntyre was in the backfield there, the big offensive guard. Bill Walsh has used him in that backfield. He weighs 270 pounds. He's a little bigger than Wendell Tyler, considerably bigger, and he is a fine lead blocker.
And another record has fallen.
Another one to Joe Montana.
Falling all over the place.
Well, they really put on a terrific show, particularly offensively, and you've got to give that defense great deal of credit coming here to play against Miami.
Yeah, Roger Craig is living up to what O.J. said in our pregame show. He could be the man that was such a key factor in this game as we watch him once again. This time he struggles inside the 10, close to the 8. A gain of a couple to bring up second down and 8. Doug Fetters defensively there for Miami.
I think another key that we touched on earlier in the pregame show was we expected the secondary of San Francisco to be a real key, but I didn't really expect them to bring 2 more guys out there to help those 4 guys that are Pro Bowl bound play.
We really concentrated on the 4 deep backs. As it turns out, we had all the other people out there playing with
That's
them.
the O-line when you're all alone in blue.
Yeah, that's right.
No one to tell your troubles to.
That's it.
There'll be many great games for that young man to come up. We'll see him next Sunday in the Pro Bowl. Second and 8. Roger Craig struggles down close to the 5-yard line to bring up third down and 6. Charles Bowser on the stop. Don't forget, tonight is the night for the premiere of a special new ABC series, and it's a good one. Magruder and Loud. You'll see it after our Super Bowl coverage. So stay with us here on Super Bowl Sunday, right here on ABC. Eddie DiBartolo, the owner of the 49ers, down there already congratulating. That's Ronnie Lott, the all-pro cornerback. But they've all played great on this defensive unit, and this man has been superb. Roger Craig. Strong running by Roger Craig. Down to the 2-yard line, short of the first down in the arms of Mike Charles.
Oddly enough, Coach Walsh has a decision to make here. It is 4th down. Do you want to go for it, leaving the football down deep, or do you want to kick and take the 3 points?
I think he'd go for it and make a touchdown is what I think they'll do.
I think he's going to go for it. I did leave out one option. That's true. You can go for the touchdown.
Yeah, I think just go ahead and score.
Yeah, all right.
At 38-16, 3:10 remaining, and the clock moving. They will keep the offensive unit on the field on 4th down. A little more than a yard to go for first, about 2 yards for the touchdown. Craig now has 83 yards and a touchdown, and again, those key receptions early in the game. Whoa, yeah. Too effective.
He didn't get a touchdown.
That was not a Marcus Allen attempt. Miami Dolphins will get the ball back. They have 2:46 remaining in the game. They are now going to go in search of respectability.
Possibly Jay Brophy's a little bit
appears to be injured. Crowd saluting Joe Montana, as well they should. Jay Brophy, the injured Miami Dolphin, rookie from Miami of Florida. He was looking for 2 championships. Of course, he played on a national championship team a year ago. Was a 2nd-round draft pick. He was in hopes of being the first player to play in a national championship in college, a Super Bowl champion the following year. Such will not be the case. Glenn and Lyle, of the 2, has to be such a disappointment. Joe, you felt the disappointment of the Super Bowl loss.
Yes, it is. The pictures are very indicative of what it feels like. It's a very empty feeling. You almost get to a point where you say, gosh, you just don't want to get here and lose it. If you can come here, it seems like you should win it, not lose it. The emptiness is tremendous.
Miami 1st down and 10. The ball at their own 2-yard line. Marino from the end zone. Joe Rose. And Rose, short of the first down, but he moves it out to the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Again, no huddle. The Dolphins have 3 timeouts, as do the 49ers. Again, Marino. Again, Rose. This time the first down over the 15 to the 17.
You don't really need huddles when you're just going to say, you guys block, do the best you can, somebody get open, because we're definitely going to throw.
They'll have to hurry to beat the 2-minute warning. They get it off. Firing underneath. Completion, Nat Moore. Annette Moore to the 25-yard line, 2 yards short of the first down, and the 2-minute warning is sounded. We'll be back. Stanford in for the Miami Dolphins. It hurts to lose the big one. The season began way back in July and closed out here on January the 20th. And across the field, the smiles, the jubilation of the 49ers. 1:55 remaining. The Dolphins from the shotgun, 2nd down and 2. The ball just over their own 25-yard line. Middle screen, Tony Nathan. Another Dolphin first down, but they keep picking up short yardage. Tuiasosopo, the nose tackle.
Great hustle by Manu, was it?
Down there for the stop.
San Francisco doesn't mind a nickel and diamond at this particular point. They're actually doing him a favor, running some time off. Dan's got to work it down the field again.
They're giving
again, it's Nathan. And again, he's covered after a 5-yard pickup at the 45-yard line by Jeff Fuller.
And again, the ball was a little low and behind it.
Shotgun once again, no huddle. Max Runniger, the punter for the 49ers.
He's really had a great opportunity to watch a game today.
Marino, good coverage once again over the corner by Eric Wright and Carlton Williamson. And Marino has to fire it out of bounds. In spite of it all, in spite of today for Dan Marino, what a great year he's had. Most touchdown passes, 48 regular season, 55 through the playoffs in 18 games. Most yards gained, 5,084. Most passes completed, 362. Most 300-yard games with 9. Most 400-yard games with 4. Those are all NFL records for young Dan Marino. But his first Super Bowl will be a loss. Little doubt that Joe Montana would be the most valuable player. And he has now won 2 MVP awards in Super Bowl competition. Of course, he won in Super Bowl 16 in the win over Cincinnati. And he joins a couple of other great players, Terry Bradshaw and Bart Starr, as other Super Bowl quarterbacks who won that MVP award twice. What a day. 24 of 35, 331 yards, 3 touchdowns, great running. Marino, 3rd down and 4. Tony Nathan gets another Miami first down at the 43-yard line. And we are down to 1 minute. Again, 18 of these players going to the Pro Bowl will be bringing you that coverage a week from today at 4 o'clock Eastern time. On first down. Underneath again, and this time Nathan cannot handle it. Stops the clock with 47 seconds. Also, we're going to be in the locker rooms after the game, so we want to remind you to be sure and stay with us. And for Don Shula, this is the 6th team he has taken to a Super Bowl. And, of course, it's going to go down as a loss. He's won twice.
That'll tie a record for him, since you're talking about records. Losing 4.
Records have fallen like leaves here today. Marino on the day, a record, a Super Bowl record for attempts and completion. He was 28 of 48 to this point, 304 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pair of interceptions. Just stood up, hanging it high, looking for either the interference call or the completion. Eric Wright was there batting it away with 38 seconds remaining.
You may see 3 more of those at this particular time in the ballgame. He's just going to try and get something in. It's a very frustrating time for a quarterback.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League. You know what that is, Joe? It's prohibited.
Is it really?
Yeah, you're new here.
Super Bowl 19 closing out here at Stanford Stadium. Super Bowl 21 will be in Pasadena next year. Then it will move to San Diego in 1988. In 1989, well, that has not been decided. They will decide that this spring, and certainly in the contention would have to be San Francisco. They put on a great show here, and it is a beautiful, wonderful city to visit. 3rd down and 10 for Marino. Joe Rose, another Miami first down as the seconds tick off to the 1984 season. Dolphins came into the game with wins over Seattle and Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game. They dominated totally in the playoffs, but they definitely have met their match with the 49ers as Marino loses the ball moving away from the center, but then covers. The final seconds ticking away. Depends upon how you look at it. Was it the lack of offense and defense by Miami, or was just brilliant play on the part of the offensive unit of the 49ers, directed by this man, Bill Walsh, and a great defensive area. Super Bowl 19 is in the record book. And Bill Walsh, who became a head coach so late in life after many years as an assistant coach at Cincinnati, San Diego, Oakland, and then collegiately at Stanford, is being carried off on the shoulders of his players. Low-key, takes a great deal of personal interest in his players.
Frankly, did a terrific job.
An imagination to offense perhaps no other coach has in this game.
I think offensively and defensively, no one really expected this Don Shula team to score only 16 points, and I think Don Shula will be the first to admit that.
Highest scoring team during the season in 1984. The Miami Dolphins were just incredible. They rolled up 513 points on the season, but they met their match today against the San Francisco 49ers, who played this game almost flawlessly. We'll be back at Stanford Stadium in just 34-35, 331 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran for 1 touchdown. A brilliant day for Joe Montana. Once again, the final score of Super Bowl 19, San Francisco 38, Miami 16. With us today in our truck, the executive producer of ABC Sports is Rune Arledge. Senior producer of Super Bowl 19 is Chuck Howard. Super Bowl 19 was produced by Bob Goodrich. Super Bowl 19 was directed by Chet Forty. Pre- and post-game producers Jeff Rui and Mike Pearl. Pre- and post-game director Roger Goodman. Additional replays and halftime director Terry Jastro. Technical directors Joe Chabot, John Feeder, Werner Gunther. Feature producers Rob Biner, Ben Harvey, Ned Simon, Peter Lasser, Phil Bergman, David Doss, and Tim Tyson. Associate producers Joel Feld and Peter Engelhart. Associate directors Kim Belton, who went to school here at Stanford, Jeff Cohen, and Robbie Cowan. Stay tuned for the Super Bowl 19.
Stanford Stadium, that's a live shot as you look into the locker room of the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. It's the second time in 4 years they've won it all. Today, total domination as they led 28-16 at the half, wind up winning the game. The final score 38-16. The 38 points, a Super Bowl record, along with the 38 scored last year by the Los Angeles Raiders against Washington. There is Commissioner Pete Rozelle. Joe Montana, the MVP of Super Bowl 19. Bill Walsh in your picture right now. Montana setting a new passing yardage record. And after it looked like the Dolphins had worked their way back into the game through a big break at the end of the first half, they were shut out in the second half. And as we welcome you back to Stanford, shortly we'll be going into the locker room for interviews. I'm Al Michaels, joined by Tom Landry. And Tom, what strikes me is with all of the offensive output of the 49ers, how about a defense that allows only 1 touchdown in 3 playoff games?
What can you say about it? It was just a tremendous performance. The 49ers were just dominant in every way. We talked a great deal about the 4-man rush that we felt they were going to go to, and they did. They went in with Dean, they went in with Johnson, they went in with Carter and Board in the second quarter, and it changed completely the game. Miami was unable to move the ball against them, and that was the difference.
Sometimes you have to let a little bit of time pass before you relate this team to others in the past, but this is a team that came within 3 points of a perfect season. Are they one of the best teams in recent history in your mind?
I think they're one of the best teams that I've seen in a single-year basis. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers, and all of them are competent to this team. And they really performed well. I just was very impressed with them today.
All right now let's go down to the locker room and Jim Lampley.
All right, now we are here in the victorious dressing room of the San Francisco 49ers, and without further ado, the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Here again, Commissioner Pete Rozelle.
Well, Bill and Eddie, it's been a long road since July. You probably know it a lot better than I do. But you've come up with your 2 for 2. 2 Super Bowl wins in the last 4 years, and you set a record for becoming the first team in regular and postseason to win 18 games. And really, your entire organization is to be credited. The organization, Eddie, that you put together, Bill, his coaching, outstanding coaching staff, and certainly these players over here. It was a real number you played on today. It was a great performance. Credit to your entire organization, and certainly you're going to be a factor in the future. Here's the trophy.
Pete, thank you. Mr. Ed DeBartolo Jr., the owner of the San Francisco 49ers.
Guys,
I love you. Coach Walsh, his staff, we're the best. We are the best. And we will continue to be the best. I'm just very proud of everything that we've put together through Coach Walsh and his organization. Commissioner, thank you. This trophy belongs to Bill Walsh, his assistant coaches, our organization, and these great players that play for us. My pals!
Now, gentlemen, in the midst of this celebration, we are expecting to be connected electronically with a visitor from the East. As a matter of fact, right now, Coach Walsh and Mr. DeBartolo, I believe we're going to be hearing from President Reagan.
Coach Walsh, there ought to be a bigger word than congratulations for all that we saw tonight and what you and that team of yours have accomplished. But that's the word to use, and I just want to say congratulations to you. And, of course, congratulations to Joe Montana for his being picked and for the performance. But for all of that team, I guess as a coach, you couldn't have asked for anything greater than they gave you tonight.
Well,
Yes?
Well, I tell you, they've given it all year, Mr. President. This is the greatest football team and the greatest group of people I've ever been around, and I hope we've added to today's festivities.
You certainly did. And, you know, if now that the season's over and you fellas haven't anything to do for a while, I have to go up on the Hill and deal with Congress in a few days. How would you like to come back and I could use a frontline four?
Well, I think we'll stick to football, Mr. President. You're equipped for your job. We'll just try to deal with this one. Congratulations to you on your election. We're all behind you, and we're praying for you.
Thank you very much. And again, God bless you all, and it was just great.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President, for your participation. And now, gentlemen, if you can stick with me just a second, let's discuss the particulars of this game. First of all, Ed DeBartolo, I want to congratulate you on having won this for the second time in 4 years.
Thanks, Jim. It's a real honor, and it's a gratification towards this great team that we have.
All right, hopefully we'll get a chance to chat a little bit more later on. Right now, I need to chat with Bill Walsh if I can. Coach Walsh, if you can come over here. Congratulations on your second Super Bowl victory. I wonder if you knew, after all the detailed work and the preparation and the build-up for this game, that it was going to turn out to be potentially as decisive as it was.
Well, we did the best we could. We planned. We got a lot of confidence in this football team, and you never really know. I was a little haunted by the fact I was wondering if we could even score. That's what happens to you before a game. But once it started, and once this team went into motion, that just a great group of football players. I think this is one of the best teams of all time.
Were you at all annoyed or bothered, and did you suspect that maybe Joe Montana would be especially motivated by the degree of attention that's been paid, particularly here in the Bay Area, to Marino in the past couple of weeks?
Well, Marino's a great quarterback, a great young quarterback. Montana, to me, in my feeling and our team's feeling, is the greatest quarterback in football today, maybe of all time. And this was Montana's year. Marino will certainly have his years. He's a great football player. But this was the San Francisco 49er year. And we had a lot of competition throughout the season. We met a great Miami team. But without doubt, this is the greatest football team in football today.
First team in the history of the National Football League to win 18 games during the course of the long season. Did you ever worry from week to week about your team's motivation in the face of all the success they're experienced?
No, that's the strength of the ball club. We were basically motivated for every game. We played with the same intensity, play after play, throughout the season, and this was typical of it. This is the best game I believe we played. We were ready for it, and I just can't say enough about the resourcefulness of all 49 players, because all of them contributed.
Coach, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations again. You've once again squelched rumors that you might be moving upstairs and giving up the coaching duty, so we'll look forward to seeing continued success for you in the years ahead.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you
very much. We'll be back with more Super Bowl postgame right after this. Thank you.
Award-winning journalism.
An amazing.
With Mike Wallace, Morley Safer, Harry Reasoner, Ed Bradley, and Diane Sawyer. 60 Minutes. Special day and time tomorrow at 10.
It's a busy life in the fast lane, but not as tough to keep in touch as you might think with the Global News 3-installment plan. Installment 1, first news at 5:30. All the latest, earliest with John Daw, Bob McAdory, Mike Anscombe, Martha Howlett. Installment 2, the evening edition with Jan Tinnett, in-depth on the regional scene. Installment 3, the World Report, live from the nation's capital with Peter Truman. As easy as 1, 2, 3, you've got the big picture. Weeknights from Global News.
What do all these people have in common? They're among over 38 people who have scratched their Match 3 sweeps ticket and won a chance at $1 million. Who will be the big winner? Will it be John Coker of Niagara Falls or Kay Clark from Ottawa? Or maybe Gary McCullough from Kingston? For the first time in history, someone will become a millionaire on live television. And you'll see it happen soon when Rich Little hosts the fabulous $1 Million Sweep Special live from Toronto's new Metro Convention Center. Global's got it. Wednesday, January 30th.
Tonight.
What are your names again?
Oh, Magruder.
Loud.
Can prowl car partners be secret spouses?
We shouldn't be doing this.
We're breaking the law.
And still earn a living?
Hell yes.
Are you crazy? Of course, let's do it.
It's a special 2-hour premiere of Magruder and Loud. Global's got it right after the Super Bowl tonight.
Back again now with the most valuable player of Super Bowl 19 and the third man to win the award twice in his career. I wonder if you know that. You've joined Bart Starr and Terry Bradshaw now, and having won the award twice, and congratulations.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I tell you, though, I have to say one thing about our offensive line. Did one heck of a job all day long and allowed me to do all those things that happened today and gave me the time that was necessary.
Were you particularly motivated coming into the game by all the attention that was paid to your opposite number in the last couple of weeks, Dan Marino?
Well, I think our whole offensive unit was. All we heard all week long was Miami's offense. How are you going to stop them? And I think deep inside of us, nothing was said, but inside of each of us, we just knew that we had an offense too, and no one was thinking about having to stop us, so I think we were out to prove something.
All right, Joe, you had a great game throwing the ball and a particularly good game, as is often the case, running with the football. Let's take a look now at some of the action which was critical during the course of the game. Here's the first touchdown to Monroe.
It's just a rollout and trying to get the halfback down to the corner with the clear on the X, and he just broke a tackle there and got in the end zone.
All right, now we're going to look at your touchdown run.
Well, I tried to throw a slant to Dwight, and the guy jumped up underneath of it, and there was a big hole in front of me. I just ran.
Did you have a feeling before the game that you would be scrambling out of the pocket a great deal against this defense?
Well, it wasn't so much the pressure aspect of it. It was just that they were covering, dropping a lot of people back. I felt that we could get, if nothing was open, I could get up inside and run.
All right, baby. Much better game today than in the 6 preceding weeks. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think we just executed when we got down inside the 20-yard line. The past couple games, I'd given up a couple touchdowns and thrown an interception and cost us some points. And this week, we just went in and wanting to throw the ball and get inside and get in the end zone.
Big play here by Wendell Tyler. You had all day to wait for him to break free.
Well, we were trying to throw the ball to the outside receivers, and he had told me all day long he'd been covered on this play. So we got back to it, and I looked back inside. I was looking for the tight end. All of a sudden, he was standing there by himself, and he makes a great run after the catch.
And here's the third touchdown by Roger Craig. What a game he had.
He sure did. Roger just here is one-on-one with the linebacker, moves him to the outside, and then goes inside of him here, and then just splits the guy to get in the end zone here. This was the second touchdown. That was they had been blitzing and trying to cover our backs with their linebackers one-on-one. They did it the first time we came back with the play, the second time in a row, and there was no one around Raj.
One of the prices of fame, Joe, a great deal has been written about your personal life in the last year or two. Are you a happier and more content man at this time than in the recent preceding times?
Well, I definitely am, and Jennifer has a lot to do with that, and she's been behind me the whole way and giving me the support that I've needed, and I couldn't have done it without her.
All right, let's take a look at one more play, and this one will illustrate the kind of protection you got from an offensive line that's sending 3 players to the Pro Bowl, and from which I guess you expect this kind of help.
Oh, definitely. They've had a great year all year long, and they've just been underestimated, not even this year, but the past few years, and finally they're getting what's due them.
All right, congratulations once again, Joe Montana. 2nd Super Bowl championship, still relatively early in your career. We'll look forward to more big things from you in the future. Jim Lampley in the 49er dressing room. The next man up is Eric Wright, who played a sensational game against Mark Clayton and Mark Duper, as did your running mate Ronnie Lott at cornerback. A lot of people wondered how you guys would do handling Clayton and Duper head up. Were you highly motivated by all that speculation?
The first half and throughout the week, the whole secondary, we knew we would be the key to beating these guys, and it was going to be determined on what type of day we had. And we had a super day back there. Our offense, we couldn't ask any more of those guys. They came through when we needed them.
Interception that prevented a touchdown, a great catch. We're going to look at that play right now, Eric, and you describe it for us. Well, if the tape rolls, we'll look at the play. I seem to have lost the monitor down here, so we'll wait to see exactly what happens. At any rate, what happened on the play was that you were able to leap in the air and take a ball away from Clayton, kind of play he's been making all year.
Oh, yeah, he's been coming up with a great catch all year, and it was a type of pattern that he would normally make that catch, but I got a good piece of him at the line of scrimmage, and that enabled me to come back for the ball, and I came back to the ball very aggressive. Normally I would knock that ball down, but I had to come up with the pick, and that turned the game around. Those guys had momentum rolling their way.
All right, Eric, congratulations to you. We've got some other players here whom we hope to get a chance to talk to later. Right now, let's go to O.J. Simpson with Don Shula.
Coach, I know this must be a difficult time for you, but I'm sure you'll find some consolation in the fact that you have a young football team, and it appears that they're going to be here quite often in years to come. But defensively, your defense never seemed to get into the game here tonight.
Well, Montana had an awful lot to do with that. He just was outstanding in every way. Every time that we seemed to have some kind of pressure on him, he scrambled and made big plays on his own, or he scrambled and bought time and then hit one of the receivers crossing, and he just knew what to do with the football the entire day. He just hurt us in every way, running and throwing the football, broke the records, and did a great job. When you get beat the way that we got beat, you take your hat off to the victor, and that's what I'll do. Bill Walsh did a great job with that football team, and our team didn't rise to the occasion. Our offense played the poorest game that it's played all year long. We just didn't make enough plays. Our punter didn't get the job done when we had the opportunity to get some field position, and defensively we never stopped them. Montana and their fine offensive line, 2 running backs, their receivers, that's a heck of an offensive football team, and we didn't have the answers.
Even before the 49ers started putting so much pressure on Marino, he had a little trouble throwing the football, and as you mentioned, your punter Roby had a little difficulty punting the ball. Do you think the thick air or something had something to do with that?
Well, I'd like to make all kinds of excuses, but we're not going to. We just didn't do it. Our punter is supposed to be the best punter, and he didn't punt like the best punter today. And Marino had some problems, but he's had a great year. The thing that we can't let happen to us is get dragged down by this and discouraged. We got to think about the great things that happened to this young football team this year, the accomplishments. We earned the right to be here. The 49ers, the best team, the best record ever, and the National Football League, and they're the best.
Well, I agree with you. You have an excellent young football team, and we expect to see you here many times in the years to come. And now we're going to go back to Al Michaels.
All right, O.J. So at Stanford Stadium, the 49ers win it decisively. Final score 38-16, and our post-game coverage of Super Bowl 19 will continue after this. So much of the pregame hype centering around people like Dan Marino and Joe Montana, so no surprise at all that Montana had a big day. But there was also an unlikely hero, the #2 running back, but a man who led the team in receptions this year. And let's go back to the pregame show. This is what O.J. Simpson said before the game about Roger Craig.
When you look at the 49ers running game, only Chicago and the L.A. Rams have had a more, more yardage game running the ball this year. And I think with Craig and Tyler, especially Craig, I think he may be an unsung hero.
And now here is Roger Craig celebrating in the 49er dressing room. O.J. Simpson suggested before the ball game you could be a key factor here. I got to tell you, Frank Gifford has been saying since mid-season that he thought you'd be the difference in the Super Bowl. Did you have an inkling coming in that you were going to play as big a role in this game as you did?
Well, all year they've been using me as an all-purpose back, and a type of defense Miami runs that they probably come to me quite a bit, like on swing-out passes and quick draws and things like that. And everything worked out well for me today. The offensive line did a great job of blocking, and everyone just executed very well.
We're looking at some plays here in a moment, some of the action in which you excelled during this game. Right now, the viewers are seeing the touchdown pass you caught from Joe Montana early in the ball game, the one that made it 14-10. Pretty remarkable to reflect that you caught only 16 passes in 4 years at Nebraska. Could you ever have thought that you would become the receiver you have in the pros?
Well, in Nebraska, they never really, passed that much. They're a run-oriented team, but they had a lot of success with the run there, so there was no necessary need for it. But, playing for the 49ers, I had to prepare myself as far as catching the ball because they passed quite a bit to the halfbacks coming out of the backfield. So it was a lot of hard work and a lot of concentration, and I had a lot of help from some of the players on the team, like Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. Those guys helped me out quite a bit when I first got here.
Viewers have now seen your touchdown run that made it 28-10. Now they're looking at the last touchdown pass that you caught from Joe Montana, made it 38-16. Did the team have a sense that Montana was going to come up big today?
Well, Joe always come up with the clutch play every game, and he's that type of a quarterback and a type of player. He's the leader on our team, and we have a lot of confidence in him, and he just performed well, every time he's on the field. And on that play, he just read the defense very well and saw that I was open and dumped it off to me. All I had to do was just take it up the middle.
All right, thanks again, Roger, and congratulations on a big game today. If the gentleman in the truck will indulge me, one quick word with Carlton Williamson, who played with Danny Marino at Pittsburgh and came up with an interception today. Your pressure in the second half seemed to really bother Danny Marino. Had you thought that that might happen?
Well, we felt that that would be the key to the ball game, to us winning the ball game. And I talked to Danny after the game. He was telling me that he feels fine physically, and he mentioned the fact that the pressure on him was tremendous, and we felt that was going to be the key.
All right, well, we're going to take a look now, Carlton, at your interception on the back line of the end zone. This was a ball that Dan really put up for grabs.
Yes, that was one of the things that he'd been doing all season, and a lot of defenders would get hurt because they wouldn't look around for the ball, have excellent coverage. So when I'm in the end zone, I try to look around and find the ball, especially when you feel it's coming. And that was the case. I just turned around to try to find where the ball was, and it was already in air, so I guess he was trying to get rid of it, and I was on the receiving end.
At this time, knowing him as you do, any note of sympathy for Dan?
Yes, there is. The guy's an excellent quarterback, and it was just tough for him the way they had to lose today. But this is competitive sports, competitive game, and he'll be back.
All right, Carlton, congratulations to you and all the defenders here, and we'll be returning with more post-game coverage from Super Bowl 19 immediately after these messages.
What do all these people have in common? They're among over 38 people who have scratched their Match 3 sweeps ticket and won a chance at $1 million. Who will be the big winner? Will it be John Coker of Niagara Falls, or Kay Clark from Ottawa, or maybe Gary McCullough from Kingston? For the first time in history, someone will become a millionaire on live television, and you'll see it happen soon when Rich Little hosts the fabulous $1 Million Sweep Special, live from Toronto's new Metro Convention Center. Global's got it.
Struck by the similarity to last year, figured to be a great game. Raiders blew Washington out, and today